team. We're going to stand together and fight this disease.
I come this way before, travel through the open door. Circumstances navigated the path, and life happened all so fast. No, it got lonely sometimes. You see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm off beat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me, cause I know my time. I never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a play for no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it personal, cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth, hey. It's all in what you do, hey. Some things you gotta do, hey. Let's fight for millions. Take a second, see the blessing in it. With much expected, much is given. One to make the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the power come first before your happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine up, let them see your brilliance. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. We're bringing it to life. Ooh, for the children, it's a given. You gotta give it, be a blessing.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm aces. Learn to develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition, I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lack it. Or cancer slowing our road. I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. Yeah.
Give back, give love, give something away. Never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm going back soon and fight this final round. Life's a play for no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games can play, can't take it personal, cause the devil is a lie. Telling you the truth, hey. It's all in what you do, hey. Some things you gotta prove, hey. I'm gonna share all that I have and give to those in need. So we're gonna win this battle, fight that disease. No more kids, no children leaving us. That's me on. We've got to keep it
Hey, what's up, y'all? Barbershop Conversation, man. I appreciate everybody coming in here tonight. DB, Rob, what's up? What's up, Donald? Man, I appreciate everybody coming in here. Mark Wonderlick, man. Eric, D-Lo. Some names you just got to say in a deep voice, Reggie Owens. You know what I mean? What's up, Andrew Charles, man? I appreciate you, J8, man. 3 states below, man. What's up? What's 3 states below? What state is that? I'm curious. Teach me something. Yeah, man. So yeah, man, we got a topic that people that DB reinforced that we talk about it, and yeah, it's an interesting topic, man, that they took money from the government, and I'm very interested in to hear y'all opinion on it. You know, like, is it fair? Is it not fair? Or what's your stance on it? I'm very interested. What's up, KO? I'm very interested in it. You know what I mean? As to y'all take on it. Y'all watched my video the other day, so y'all got a barometer. But convince me. Convince me. You know what I mean? So so yeah, I'm open up the phone lines, you know what I mean? Open up the phone lines and we could jump right into it, man. Today was a good day. Today is Thursday, man. Today was a very good day. You know what I mean? Hopefully everyone else had a good day today as well. I'm just not interested in sports, man. I'll just be honest. I was watching that boxing and I was like, man, why am I watching this? I was totally not interested. You know what I mean? Completely not interested. Um, you know, yeah, man, I just wasn't interested in it at all. It does nothing for me. You know what I mean? I don't know what baseball gonna do. Ain't nobody watching a baseball game right now. Shit, man, that shit boring as hell, man. It's not exciting. We don't know the characters in the play. Oh man, we don't know the backstory. We've never said their name before. You know what I mean? Oh man. So you know what I mean? So I'm very interested to hear what you guys got to say. You know what I mean? They have so what I did was I looked up the fighters, right? And Bob Arum is actually fighting. So I think Bob Arum can definitely make a case that he's keeping his company alive and they're working. You know what I mean? It's pretty easy, right? That's but I went to Mayweather Promotions. They have 22 fighters. Golden Boy has 86 fighters, and they're gonna get hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? And um, um, oh, I got my own notification. Cool. So um, you've never watched a full baseball game? Fuck Dillian White again. What'd he do to you today? Salute Fred at the chat. Fuck Dillian White and the WBC. Oh man, WBC 3 times. You know what I mean? Oh man, WBC is just full of just full of malarkey. You know what I mean? And I heard you, Broderick. I believe you're a lawyer, so feel free to call in and break the ice on this. And I remember your last call, and we can let me put the banner up, and feel free to call in, and we can set the tone for the conversation, or no, not or break the ice. You know that's probably better. Receipt for your payment. So oh shit, I got to deactivate that shit. I just got charged for my $4.99. What is that? ESPN Plus. I'm I'm glad it came on right now because I'm about to deactivate that shit. I totally forgot about it, man. I don't need that shit. I'm just not interested in sports. You know what I mean? It's more about livelihood. Like it's funny how things instantly take precedence. You know what I mean? Like I'm completely driven by what tomorrow is gonna bring. You know what I mean? I have no care about like sports. I don't even know how to sit in front of a TV for 2 hours anymore. You know what I mean? For real, man. I don't even, man, it's gonna be it's funny how the world just flip flops so fast and so quick. You know what I mean? But I'm very interested to hear because obviously we know how Floyd talks about money and stuff like that. And um do you think that it's insult to the working class people? I'll tell you guys what I said in my video. If you go from because it's from year to year, January 31st from last year or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm gonna just tell you what it's like just pragmatically. And I use whose salary is public that we know. Canelo signed a big contract, right? Was that $33 million a year? And on average, he fights twice a year. He fights Cinco de Mayo and he fights Mexican Independence Day. So if Canelo didn't fight, you had to have the business established. There we go. Thank you. You had to have the business established by a certain date, right? And during quarantine, if you were impacted, right? So Canelo was impacted because he didn't get the Cinco de Mayo date. You understand? So Canelo lost out on $33 million, right? The undercard fighters lost out on $50,000, $100,000, $80,000, $10,000, $5,000. You see what I'm saying? So technically, on a technicality, they can apply for the government assistance, right? They definitely can apply for government assistance, and it's correct. You understand? Whether they apply for the loan or whether they apply for the PPP, the payment protection plan, you know what I mean, where you subsidize your workers' pay. I believe that they're not wrong. But in terms of integrity, how do you feel about it? Or do you just think it's wrong in its totality for a man to gloat about $1 billion and not get the money? Oscar doesn't gloat as much. You know, I don't really follow Oscar now unless he do something stupid. You know what I mean? Yeah, but feel free to call. I'm waiting on you. And yeah, so I just reset it. So you should be good. My marathon stuff came in today. Don't ask me how long it took, but it's here. Oh man, so I got a couple of pieces. They didn't have anything.
Welcome to the show.
What's popping, DB?
Welcome to the show.
What's up?
You're getting me pumped up the times too. All right, so couple of quick things, real quick.
You got next, Broderick. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So fuck the government as much as fuck Oscar, Floyd, and Bob. What's his name? Bob Hope, Bob Dylan. What's his name? Bob.
Yeah, Bob something. Yeah.
That's crazy. I really can't think of his name right now. Bob Aram.
Oh, I thought you were joking. Okay.
Shit. Yeah, no, I had an old moment. So if the government says it's all right for them to take the money, they can take the money.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Sam is just as much of a hypocrite as Bob Aram is.
Sure.
So fuck him just as much.
I respect
now, okay, Floyd gloats about his $1 billion. Now, is that the company's $1 billion or is that Floyd's personal $1 billion?
There you go.
If Floyd is, if Floyd uses his name and his money as his as his company, or if Floyd is, what do you call it when you separate the business? LLC, right? Which means that he's completely separate from the company, right? It's like his personal money and his business funds are completely separated, right?
Yeah.
Then he's not saying that Mayweather Promotions is worth $1 billion. Only he is. That was one thing. The other thing I was going to say, yeah, I agree. I think Reggie was saying something in the chat too. Fuck sports in 2020. You know, if you think about sports 5, 10, or 15 years ago, we watched sports so we can relieve stress, right? We watched it to get away from the realities of life. And DB, now that the athletes don't have a voice, you know what I mean? DB, especially in this kind of climate.
Keep talking. I gotta take Kenny to the bathroom. Keep talking. All right, I'll be back.
No, hell no. Let Broderick call in. I'm gonna be talking for 10 minutes to myself. Shit. Go ahead, Broderick, call in. I think I got me hosting a show without a script. Unless we're talking about coochie, then I can go on for a little while. Hold on. This nigga really left. Okay, let me look at the chat then. Let's see. All right, come on. Y'all start sending in some super chats so I can read those. That's right, Jay. Go on and laugh. Tell it like it is, TV. What up? Jarvis. Right on, JJ. Brother Jason G in the house. D Hodges, fresh from Reggie Owens' den. Jay Good. Yeah, you know, man, fucking freestyle. Shit. We can integrate pussy into politics. Pussy, politics, and people. There we go. That's the 3P. 3P subject for the day. That's right. That's my cousin Donald Simpson Jr. Call him Donnie Jr. Picasso, what's going on, man? Where the hell you been? Damn. Oof. It's my brother right there, my BJJ brother. Right on. KO, man, appreciate the super chat. You know what I'm saying? He sent a $5, man, but since he the only one that 5 look like a 50 right now. Peace to you. My brother, he ain't been in a couple of weeks or so, and he already sending in more money than half of you dirty, broke down, pro wing wearing suckers. That's the motion. Right on. Let's see. Well, come on. So 3 states below. You said that's Virginia? Okay, that shit sound like Mississippi. Way, way down below. Let's see. Philip H became a celebrity overnight.
Didn't he?
Yeah. Hey, well, you got to look at the video that was posted, though. You got to look at that video and look at not the comments during the chat, but the comments that are posted afterwards. He posted some comments on there, I think, yesterday. Man, Philip is he's a funny character, man. He had me dying going in there. Yeah, he said,
what'd he say?
He said, yeah, man, I was going in and then, you know what I'm saying? I was trying to stand on my square, but then Blue Blood called me off guard with some facts. I actually proved his point for him. And I was like, fuck that. I ain't finna give this shit up. I ain't finna lose this argument off of principle. I'm finna keep going. Yeah.
Man.
But yeah. Who else just came in? Sir Senior, what up, man?
Yeah.
My brother. And who else just came in? Hold on. We had somebody else just came in. Oh, that's the other DB. The other DB just came in too. What up, DB?
3 states below. Oh, Mexico. Okay, that's what it is.
You said what?
3 states below means you're in Mexico. I didn't know that. I never knew that.
Shit, yeah,
I never knew that.
That's brand new to me too. Right on. Tell it like it is, TV. Oh yeah, I think I gave him some props already. You saw that super chat, right?
Yeah,
your brother KO.
KO, preach, brother. KO look like he worked for Death Row, don't he? They got his picture.
Yeah.
They got Suge Knight morals, you know what I mean?
Right on. Okay, Picasso City was driving. I got you, Picasso.
Hey, look what Jarvis wrote. I don't know why this is funny to me, man, because Jarvis he tells pragmatic jokes, you know what I mean?
JJ King Jarvis in the building.
Oh man,
I'm alone in my room. Sometimes I stare at the wall, and in the back of my I hear my conscience call. Bored, pocket full of stones filled. Right. Oh, haven't listened to Alive in a minute. 11 Barrios JL. All right, 11 Barrios. ¿Qué onda, compa? Aquí.
So 3 states below is Mexico.
3 states below is Mexico.
I never knew that.
Yeah, that's right. Okay,
Reggie Owens, Canada, United States, and Mexico. Those are countries, though. Right? Am I right or wrong?
Reggie said, I know about politics. I'll start mentioning geography shit.
Hey, KO said he need to change his avatar. I thought that was Suge, nigga. I thought, nigga, you were calling me from, you know, you got 300 days left at county, so I thought you would call me from county. You know what I mean? Hey, I remember I bumped into Suge Knight at the Griddle Cafe, and he's skinny. Like, he's not big. Like, he's, you know what I mean? He just looks like a old, kind of like an old gangster. You know what I mean? Like an old buff gangster, you know? And I was like, people were afraid of him? But, you know, that aura, you know, the aura and the myth. Sometimes
but it's also too, when you see Suge always got about 15 different dudes with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
and I hollered at him. I was like, man, because I was writing for the newspaper, and I was like, man, let me do an article on you. He said, yeah, whatever. He was cool though. He was cool. He was like, you know. But yeah, he was parking in the back of the Griddle Cafe at that what is that? Walgreens or something? The Griddle
The
Cafe.
Griddle Cafe, where the fuck is that at?
The Griddle. You ain't never been, but you don't eat. Are you a vegan or a vegetarian?
No, vegan, a real vegan, full plant based, not
So
that fake shit, eating
oh,
eggs and
so you wouldn't. So
chicken
you
farm
wouldn't.
and
You wouldn't
shit.
eat there. But the Griddle Cafe pancakes is the size of a plate.
Oh yeah, no, that's gluttony. I ain't fucking around with that shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now he didn't
Moyo
have,
Sauce, what up, man?
Yeah, he
Brother
didn't-
Moyo Sauce just came in.
what's up, Mo? He didn't have no one with him. He had a companion with him. You know what I mean? Hey, Unique Dime was stunting on the gram today. She had $1 million. She showed $1 million on the gram today.
Damn.
Yeah.
Post a video. Oh shit. You know, I don't be looking at shit on Instagram, so I don't never see nothing. I want to see Unique Don on Instagram dropping it like it's lukewarm or dropping it like it's hot. Either way.
Unique Don says she manifested it. She spoke it into existence.
Philip A said, what happened to the email from the store?
What store?
Shit.
What store?
I don't know. Mr. Mont in the super chat.
Appreciate you, Mr. Mont.
$4.99.
$4.99. Hey, you might as well beam in and just co-host the show with me, man.
Shit. My phone I try to, man. Every time I try to do that shit on Reggie's show. And I'm stuck in the background, so I gotta wait till I got somebody over. I had a guest a little while ago, but I gotta wait for somebody else here to do that shit from their phone.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, well, just
tripping somehow.
Okay, well, just hang out with your boy for a minute. Yeah, man, for as long as you want. I'll open up another phone line. That's what we'll do. Boom.
Yeah. Woke in the house. What's up, Woke?
Mm-hmm.
Fred, what it do, chat?
Yeah, so we're all booked up for July. I got 2 guests for each week. And we're good. We got Raquel Miller next Tuesday. We have Jamie's coming back on Monday. And the following week we have Tia. She writes children's books, Black-owned children's books. And we have the gentleman who owns
your auntie.
yeah, she Tia. She's but that means in Spanish, right? Tia. Her name is Tia. Tia Spells. She's coming on the 21st. The following week, and we got the grocery store on the 23rd, and we have Glasses Malone on the 28th.
Welcome to the show.
What's popping, dog? What you got?
Hey, what's going on, Brad? This is Broderick.
I know, I got you. What's up?
Okay, so my understanding of the money is that it has to be used for your payroll employees, or rent, or utilities if you get the PPP.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so I don't believe the boxers are considered employees, and then there's caps of up to $100,000. But if a boxer had an LLC, he would be eligible to get a loan from the government too.
Mm-hmm.
So
let me ask you this. If the fighter is signed to the promotion company, does that make them an employee because they write the taxes? Because they get to write the taxes off and stuff like that?
I always thought that the fighters got paid like independent contractors and they were required to take their own taxes out, that they weren't W-2 employees.
Oh, so it's only W-2, not 1099 employees.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And all the employees are capped up to $100,000. So like if you're Errol Spence and you make $3 million per fight, all they can give you is $100,000, which,
gotcha.
May not do a lot. But if you have your own LLC,
mm-hmm.
you can get the PPP, or the second loan is the EDIL through the SBA. And then I think the EDIL is based upon your revenue. So you theoretically, that's why the loans are up into the $1 million, because they probably can show millions of revenue.
Yeah, gotcha.
That they had last year.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I think that the boxers are probably taking out advances. I mean, people are making money off the boxers. Those that don't have their money right, getting advances or on future or on future fights. But if someone has an LLC, they were eligible to get the same benefits.
Yeah. So if boxers have an LLC, yeah, facts. And I even saw a video. Even if you, how is it? Shit. I fucking forgot. Oh, even if you just put in your social security number as opposed to your EIN, you still can get it. $1,000 per employee, you know?
Yeah. And I have a friend who has 4 different LLCs and he got money for each one.
Yeah.
He got and then the loan is forgivable through the PPP, and through the other program, the interest rate is like 1 or 2% payable over 30 years.
Yeah. So you pay like $10.
I mean, they're just giving money away.
Yeah. You're paying like $10 a month or some shit, $20 a month. You know what I mean? Depending on your loan amount. Yeah.
And like when I did the process, they didn't even ask you if you needed it. It was like, it wasn't need based. It was just, if you were eligible, you'd basically be able to get it if you're able to show the document.
So there's two types you fill out, the PPP and the EI.
The EDIL, I think, is what it's called, and they're both through the SBA. And then
so it's one one application that goes to both of them, correct?
I think I filled out 2 applications, but they're relatively simple. It was like no more than 10, 20 minutes. And then when you get approved, it just comes straight to your bank account. And they just deposit the money. So I don't think it was that sometimes we were talking about, I know that you've posted a lot of videos discussing fighters setting up LLCs and nonprofits. And if they had those entities, they would have been eligible for it.
They don't even know it though, because they not even, I don't think they savvy enough to even know that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Right. But right. You would think, but like someone like the big guys like Canelo, doesn't he have his own like shell?
Yeah, he has his promotion company. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So I mean, for him though, what's $100,000 when you make 30 million a fight? So it's not like,
well, when you got nothing coming in, you know, I mean, it's a lot.
True.
When you ain't got nothing coming. Shit. You know, when you count, it's like when I'm spending money rehab. I've been rehabbing since Corona started. I haven't made more money, you know. So it's and I've forgiven a lot of my tenants rent, you know. So yeah, that shit is anything helps right now, you know what I'm saying?
Fred,
go ahead.
Fred, one thing I do disagree with you is that I don't believe that a fighter should just be fighting for money under what they typically purses that they would typically fight for just to be fighting.
Say it again.
Like if I'm Terrence Crawford, I'm waiting until I can fight for $3 million.
But how long is that going to wait though? It's not a $3 million market. You understand what I'm saying? The market is not $3 million right now. It's not that he's taking a pay cut. It's just what the market is. It's no
right. But I guess what's the upside of Terrence Crawford fighting for $1 million?
He has revenue coming in. He has no revenue coming in, and the market it's not like they're taking money out of his paycheck. There's advertising dollars was cut. If you watch the fights today, there was no advertising in between rounds, you know. So there's not much advertising. There's no crowd. There's no site fees. Everything is out of pocket. I mean, much of it is out of pocket. Excuse me.
But you don't think that Terrence Crawford would be able to fight somewhere for a large site fee and sell? I mean, he hasn't sold any pay-per-views to date, but
I think Terrence and his opponent can. I don't think Terrence can carry anything by himself. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, I'm not being cynical. I'm just saying he doesn't really have a name. In boxing, we say, oh yeah, he's really, 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 really good. But in terms of garnishing dollars, you know, he's go ahead.
Well, by the same token, if you were Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, would you hold the fight off until the fall of 2021? Or would you just fight this fall and take a lot less. Like I would rather wait.
Oh, they have to wait. They have no other option. You know, I mean, D has to force him to wait because that he's the mandatory. So it's nothing. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are different circumstances, I believe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's like rough out there. I just don't think
it is rough. I know it's rough because it's rough out in these streets, man. 1.2 million people applied this week. You know what I mean? More unemployment.
Right.
You know,
so that's where I'm like, but at the same time, I understand guys like Ryan Garcia. I think his name is, maybe not his name is Garcia, but Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan Garcia. That's his name.
Yeah. Him not wanting to fight for less than what Shakur Stevenson is getting. When, you know, you can wait, especially if you're young. Maybe if you're at the tail end, you need your last paydays. You don't want to age out of a division, or you won't want to age out of the sport. But if you're in your early 20s, I mean, there's no real rush, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
But man, I thank you. I love all your content, Fred. I'm a huge fan.
Appreciate you.
I get in here when I can.
Appreciate
I'm gonna get back in the chat. Appreciate you. All right.
DB.
Bud has to have a quality opponent, not just a good boxer, but he needs somebody to be. He's got to be the heel. Somebody else has to be the heel. He has to have an adversary that's not from Eastern Europe, but it's got to be, you know, a Cuban that has a following or a Mexican that has a following. You know, he should have started a beef with Mikey or Danny Garcia, because those guys will have their own following, and then he could use them to be the, you know, the rest of the cast that he needs to draw big money. But him fighting against Eastern Europeans, you know, Lyft, Uber, taxi cab drivers, grocery store baggers, like those dudes don't have a following. So Bud has to fight in Nebraska just to get his fans to all get there. And his fans are not like, you know, Deontay Wilder fans, where he can go to every other state and he's got a big following behind him. He's got to fight Nebraska. Those people are not following him outside of that state, you know. So yeah, it's tough for Bud. But he did this to himself, though. You know what I mean? With the contract that he signed, who he signed with, his personality, you know, the things that he says. So he wants to be the good guy, but then he comes across like a heel.
Especially to his fans, or the fans that don't know him, or the fans that I don't know how to put it, man. You know, he's just.
As you said before, you know, he started splitting, kind of like splitting the votes. He started splitting the fans with some of the crazy stuff that he'd been saying.
Yeah.
And he could have had the same, put it this way, him, Keith Thurman, EJ, and Sean Porter, all four of those guys are supposed to have the same fans. It's all us. Because it was all of us 3 and 4 years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and then Sean became Keith first. Keith was the weirdo first.
Right? Feel free to call in too. I got a second line open too, so feel free to call in. Go ahead.
Keith became a flute playing hippie, and then Sean Porter. No, I would say it was Bud first. Bud just became a weirdo, and then Sean started being a hater. So, you know, people recognize that not just the best quality boxer, but also the person who's been most consistent, which was Earl Spence. So these dudes, they fucked up. They could have had a bag, but they start splitting the fans up.
No, you're right. And it was no need to do it. It was like, man, all four of y'all could have been great and had a round robin tournament, and it could have been epic. You know what I mean? But everyone, jealousy kicked in. You know what I mean? A level of jealousy. You know, Keith Thurman wouldn't want to fight. Keith Thurman got really sedity. Keith Thurman got really sedity. You know what I mean? And he just got real moist. You know what I mean? And his whole demeanor changed. Like it was like, what happened to that guy? Man, what happened to Keith Thurman? He had man, people thought he could beat Floyd.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We wanted that fight, especially after Floyd started bug dancing. We wanted that fight. We like, yeah, put young Keith Thurman in there. He's fast. He got good footwork. His hand speed. Like he overall good talent. Like put this dude in there with him. And Floyd didn't seem like he wanted to fight him. He chose Andre Berto instead. So, but yeah, Keith changed.
And
11 Barrios, JL. He said, "Who's left for Bud though? Everybody's booked up."
Oh no.
Welcome to the show.
817. What's up?
Yo. KO.
Oh, this KO?
What up, Fred?
What's up? This KO?
Yeah.
What's up, man? How you feel?
I'm good, man. I just wanted to touch on what I was talking about the four fighters, kind of, what could have been and how we were all fans of them.
Yep.
Yeah. Y'all touched on a great point. A great point. Like at that point in time, like, I'm in forward. So, I'm a huge Earl Spence fan.
Sure.
But before Earl got on the scene, before he turned pro, I knew about Bud, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter. So that could have been like that whole tournament style or whatever. Like that could have been crazy.
Epic. They fucked it all up.
They did, man. And when y'all touched on it, it hit me like, damn, man, they
fucked it all up. Yeah, Keith Thurman started it off, man.
He did. It started with Keith.
Because I thought Sean was like the humble giant. You know what I mean? I thought Sean early on was like, man, I'm just a good guy. Yep. I'll fight anybody. He was very smiley. You know what I mean? Very like open. Yep. And Keith was just like a monster. Keith was like at the top of the mountain. Like we thought Keith, we were begging, not begging, but we were pushing Keith to fight Floyd. And that was I'm not saying our as in I wanted Floyd to lose because I always bet on Floyd to win. But I'm talking about in the sake of this conversation. We were thrusting Keith to be the only hope to beat Floyd Mayweather. And something happened to him, though. I don't know what happened. After that Sean Porter win, I don't know, man. Man.
I don't know if dudes started believing the hype or, if somebody was in his ear or what. But yeah, you're right. Like he got the swell head, as they say, or the swollen head or whatever. Like he was, yeah.
Yeah, he switched up.
Somebody was gassing him up, man.
Yeah, man.
But I knew that fight with
Earl happened.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't gonna happen when because we watching when Earl went overseas and fought Kell Brook, and when Keith tweeted out that picture of his elbow, I was like, it'll never happen because that came out the week of when Earl was fighting Kell Brook.
Gotcha.
And I was like, man, that's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, he ain't never been the same, dog.
But man, just the thought of that, like you said, like Buddy said, we were all fans of all four of those guys.
Like, we were easily.
I feel like now it's like lines have been drawn, like you on this side, on that side. And I'm like, wait, what happened? Like we and like I said, I'm forward. I'm BFW era. I ride with Earl, but it's like, dude, I was fans of these other guys. Like, how did it get to this point to where it's like,
Reggie said Keith Thurman changed when he had that head-on Power Wheel car crash to avoid the Earl Spence bout. And then he got the Himalayan version of some Erykah Badu pussy.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Keith fell in love and Sean turned into a hater. And not Earl Spence, but Bud just kind of Danny's always been the same. You know what I mean? I don't think Danny has changed. Danny has always been.
Nah, him and his pops, they are who they are.
Yeah, they are who they are.
And I respect it. I get it. You remember when they all had that PVC, and they sat down, like everybody talked about fighting each other
except who?
Earl.
Except Earl, yeah.
When they had that, you know,
I remember
when
that.
they announced
I remember that.
that rollout.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah,
that.
you were there, Fred.
I was about to say that. I was there. Yeah.
And I was just sitting there like I was talking to some of my boys down there, and I'm like, man, you notice that everybody else kind of talks about
damn,
you know, fighting the other person, and nobody mentioned him. Like he got a belt now. Like I still not mentioning him. Like I never felt like Earl should have had to go that route of fighting Mikey. Like it should have been like, I don't know, man.
Hey, I'm thinking about what my boy Tyron said. He said Earl turned what's the white boy name that fought Pacquiao? WBO
Chris
champion.
Algieri?
Yeah, he turned Chris Algieri into a chef. So I'm gonna add on to that. I'm gonna add on to he turned Keith Thurman into a husband, Sean into a hater, and Bud into a one-off contract. He just scared he scared his whole contract. He scared everybody away, man. Earl scared them off, man. Earl scared them off. He literally scared them off. Like, I don't want to go through that, you know. But if they would have fought earlier, damn, imagine, man. Imagine, man, they fucked up so much money. They
at one point, when the WBC mentioned a tournament, like what happened with that? I know the WBC.
It was a tournament. You know? It was a tournament. It just wasn't like official. And then because remember, Sean fought 2 eliminators. He fought Granados and Berto, and someone else. And then Ugas fought a couple of eliminators, Ray Robinson, and then he fought the Latin kid. He fought the Latin kid and Barclay. I was there for that one. And so it was like a tournament. And but it never. Then Pacquiao came back, and I think Pacquiao fucked up that whole momentum because Pacquiao hourglass is running short. You know, you got to get that money now with Pacquiao. So I think that kind of changed the whole dynamic of the tournament that I thought we were in.
Fred, I saw you at the start when Earl fought Ocampo.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I didn't chop it up with you, but I got a picture of you and Black Fife, and I chopped it up with him. But,
yeah. Oh, you were on the floor then.
I was right there. I wasn't on the floor, but I was right.
I got
at the cusp of it, and I regretted not buying, you know, a ticket to be there.
Well, you saved money, man. That shit was 1 minute and 13 seconds. The shit was so bad. Earl was begging the nigga to get up. Get up. he didn't want to knock him out that quick.
I had a blast because it was my first time ever being at a
fight, huh?
A major. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah. Earl bring y'all out, man. Earl bring out. Hopefully we can do it again sometime in the spring, you know?
Yeah, got the pictures, man. Like, and I was showing, like, just my boys that down here that follow all the YouTube channels, follow your channel, and follow all the LDBC. Like, I was just showing them pictures, and they was just like, wow. I'm like, bro, like, it's real. Like, it's a real life movement. Like, it was dope. Like, man, I had a great time. I appreciate you letting me call in, man.
Oh, that's all the time. And I'm gonna say this, and I hope someone is listening. And DB, Bud and Sean better stop being. Well, I mean, they're already half stupid, and I don't mean in terms of like them as a human being, just business wise.
Yeah,
Terrence Crawford should have parlayed Sean's popularity off of Earl Spence. Should have parlayed that shit. Fuck Green Machine. You know, give that nigga 5 loaves of bread and tell him to go back to his country. You know what I mean? Here. You got Sean Porter, who is the second hottest welterweight because he put up a great fight against Earl Spence. A great fight. It was a great fight. Earl just outran him to the ticket tape every round. You know what I mean? I thought it was great rounds. I thought it was great action. Sean was highly competitive, you know, and Earl won much of those rounds, you know, by a step or two, you know, and he should have parlayed that into a February fight with Terrence Crawford. They should have did it. And Jay Good said it earlier about 5 minutes ago in the chat. They should have did it, man. They fucked up, man. I always wonder, like, sometimes who be giving these motherfuckers advice?
Nobody.
Who be giving these? Like, Sean, you would have went from making a pay-per-view money to a guaranteed $2 or $3 million. Man, don't price yourself out. You know what I mean? leverage it to see how far you go and see how much you're worth and see if they're willing to overpay. But I definitely would have wanted that fight. And now Bud is basically nothing. He's on an island all by himself. And it's getting scary because he may not fight till next year.
Yeah, he's in limbo.
He's very much in limbo, and he feels it now. Like, he doesn't feel it, but he sees it. You know what I mean? And when all these fighters get locked up, it's gonna be problems. And another thing that happened that went under the rug, and I just ain't had a chance to talk about it. But Ugas is fighting for the WBA regular. If y'all don't remember, I said Sean Porter needs to fight. Sean Porter and Keith Thurman needs to fight for the WBA regular immediately. And it never happened. And now Ugas is fighting a guy I've never heard of. Oh, he's fighting a guy that knocked out in Tennessee. He knocked him out in the last second of the fight. And he's fighting him for the WBA regular. Now there's nothing to fight for. Not now that you want to fight for another WBC eliminator. You want to pay sanctioning fees for what? You know what I mean? It don't make sense, you know. So I think all three of them, the three guys who could have been the second, third, and fourth most powerful guys are now like now we're subconsciously rooting for Ugas now. You understand, like, in terms of getting the fight, you know, yeah. like we want Ugas to fight Terrence Crawford now. Like I see a lot of that momentum online with, I mean, even though he made those hideous comments about Black Lives Matter and all that about racism, you know, but you know, I'm not forgiving him, but we're just talking boxing here. He said,
yeah, but so we got two dudes who both basically say weird and crazy shit, you know, socially. So we just want Bud to fight somebody.
Man,
you know, like, that's it. Like, we just want Bud to fight somebody that's got a name where we understand what their skill set is, right. Because we rank this dude as the best fighter in the world, pound for pound, right? So that's only it's just a question mark. Mm-hmm. We have to see him in there with somebody. If it's not going to be Earl, that's okay. Mm-hmm. But there's still Boots. Like, fight Boots Ennis.
And that's a hell of a fight. And that's the scary thing. Both of them may have. Sean Porter may be forced into a Ennis fight or a Virgil Ortiz fight or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's fucked up. Like, I mean, no, more so for Bud than Sean, because Sean has had his chance. He fought for every title. He's fought everybody except Pacquiao. So he's had his chance. Now he's making his second run, and he's earned his second run because all his fights has been ultra competitive. It's not like he's just laying down. He's a hell of a fighter. But they just, I just sit back and think sometimes, like, how the fuck, no matter how you feel about them personally, just from a business standpoint, how the fuck can Bud not have fought Sean in January? I don't get it. Like, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. Like, you're not going to fight Virgil Ortiz because he's on the other side of the fence. You're not going to fight him if it's not for a belt or something like that. You know what I mean? But you'll fight a Jaron Ennis because he's on this side. You know, he's a Showtime fighter or something like that. So, it's no way you're not fighting him just for a sanctioned 12-round fight. So it has to be for something vacant, you know? So, man.
You got, when you, at the end of a bout, you have to call somebody out by name.
Yeah.
And it's got to be specific. You say, I want this fight. I want to fight Errol Spence Jr. And if I can't fight him, then I want to fight Sean Porter. Mm-hmm. It's got to be very specific, right? Mm-hmm. To put pressure on those dudes as well, you know, and not to say, like, I'll fight anybody, because when you say that, then there's no pressure, right? Like, you can end up fighting anybody. I'll fight whoever they put in front of me.
No, when a fighter says that, they're not man enough. Like, come on,
there you go.
Like, they're not man enough at the end of the day. Like, at the end of the day, oh, what kind of girl you want? I'll just take anyone. Just give me a woman. You know what I mean? What kind of pussy? Oh, just give me any pussy. You know what I mean? I don't care. Just.
Oh, was something wrong with that though? No, you're right, man.
You know what I mean?
It's got to be specific. Can't be generalizing like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a combination of literally those three guys, those three amigos, not seizing the moment, and two, Bud being at the top of the hill, or like, or lurking or looming, you know what I mean? Like Jaws or somebody like that, Jaws music or some shit, you know what I mean? Now you got fighters we don't necessarily care about, but we know they're gonna fight good. Like Lipinets, right? Yeah, he's a good fighter.
Yep.
But I mean, so he's an undercard fighter. You know, he's earned it. Yeah, he beat Lamont Peterson. He's earned his opportunity. He just beat somebody, right? I forget, or his fight got canceled. I don't know, either the 2 or 3. I don't know. But we respect him as a fighter, but we really don't want to see him fight Earl Spence. We really don't want to see him fight Manny Pacquiao in the mandatory. We don't want to see him fight Bud. You know what I mean? But that's what may happen. You know what I mean? He don't speak English. We have no connection to him. He doesn't sell not one. Well, he will sell tickets as the opponent, but not as the lead guy, you know. So you know, man, just throw him in. Go ahead.
Who does Mikey Garcia have?
Mikey Garcia, I've always said him and Pacquiao are gonna fight.
No, I'm talking about for Bud, because you're definitely going to get that demographic, and they're all going to go for their guy, right? Mm-hmm. So that could be a big fight for him. And you know, they both always scream about A side. So now it's clear that Bud is the A side in that fight. So he could have the fight in Nebraska, you know, but it would better suit him to have that fight in Texas, to have that fight in Los Angeles, or to have the fight in Las Vegas.
If I'm Bud, I would. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying to maximize that dollar, right? Because Mikey fans are going to come, and no matter what, like, we can talk shit about Bud, like, we still gonna support him. That's our dude, so we gonna support him
for sure.
You know, we gonna support him in Vegas. We gonna support him in California. We gonna support him in Texas.
Well,
right?
I'll be frank. I'll be frank. He ain't said shit about the. He ain't tweeted or posted anything about what's going on in the world. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna support him financially. Definitely not gonna do that.
Oh, I don't mean each one of us. I just mean as a whole.
Okay, got you. Makes sense.
It's like, you know, when you're a little kid, you turn on a football or a basketball game or a boxing match, and you don't know nobody from a hole in the wall, but you choose somebody, right, as the fight goes on. So some of us are gonna go for him, you know. But okay, if that fight can't be made, then what about Danny Garcia? Danny's definitely got a fan base.
Yeah. Nah, PBC knows Danny got one more fight left in him if he don't win. You know what I mean? Then he gonna be if Danny loses, he's a regional sellout draw. You know what I mean? He'll go to the 5,000 person seats arena. You know what I mean? He gotta win. Danny gotta win. You know, that's a sexy fight. Danny and Earl. And I think
Danny not scared of that fight. Danny beat him in the head.
No, you talking about Earl. You talking about Bud. No. Okay.
Bud.
Yeah. Bud got to travel though. Bud got, no matter who he fights, even if he's the A side, he got to travel because he has to be planning for the future. You know what I mean? He has to be planning to lead towards something. He can't have that fight in Nebraska for what? Like a Mikey Garcia or a Danny Garcia or some shit like that. You know?
That's the thing about Bud, about him being the so-called pound for pound champion, or God forbid he gets a second belt. Jesus. He's just going to turn into a cold prima donna. So at that point, he'll never fight EJ. Right? Earl got to get the 3 titles, and then the fight can happen. But if Bud has 2 or 3 of the titles, if he's a unified champion, forget about it. It's not going to happen. You know, even if he wants to concede, his manager, Bomac, or his master, Bob, they're not going to concede. So the fight's not going to happen.
I agree. It's, man, damn, they made some terrible business moves. Like, you just, and now with this virus and shit like this going on, it's like, damn, I tell Bomac every time he curses me out, you got on Earl Spencer, I said, in 10 years, you're going to be like, damn, that little nigga was right. I tell him every time I get a chance to see him, by the way, he declined to come into the barbershop. He ain't coming in here. And yeah, he gonna him and Bud gonna be like, that little nigga was right. I'm like, I told you, when you retire, you're gonna be like, his prime is gone. He's 32. Was it 27 to 34? Prime is 27 to 34, right?
Yep, at 35, you're out of your prime.
Yeah, so he's 32. How old is Bud? Can someone tell me how old Bud is? When's his birthday? I got it.
Oh yeah, Jay Good. He said it was the Figueroa fight. Actually, yeah, that's right. Trey Robb said Bud needs to fight a Mexican. Yeah, that's what he needs in order to have a paycheck.
Oh yeah, he fought Figueroa. He beat him 12 rounds to nothing. You know what I mean? But we won every round in between rounds, didn't we? You don't know. You don't know what I'm talking about.
Brown said Bud just fought in December. He was not fighting Porter before March.
Anybody get what I just said?
Say it again.
Get the fuck out of here, Jay Good. The nigga gonna be 33 in September. Nah, hell no, nigga. He ain't no 33, dog. I know he's 30, but nigga 33? Oh, it's a wrap, nigga. I mean, we might as well move on.
Yeah.
We might as well move on. Nigga, we might as well move on, dog. September 1987, September 28th. He's a Libra like me. Oh shit. We might as well. But 33 years old, man. He ain't gonna get into the ring until he's 33. The fuck? You know what I mean?
Christopher Jeanette said, ask Bud why he signed with Top Rank. Why did he, CJ?
I mean, you asking me?
No, Christopher Jeanette said, ask Bud why. So I'm asking him to reply why.
We know why. He didn't want the fights. He didn't want the fights. You know, Earl got 2 strong years. You know what I mean? You gotta be crafty like Floyd. So you gotta have something you can depend on, you know. Like you gotta be a jack of all trades, and you gotta be a master when it's time to be a master when you're out your prime. You know what I mean? So Floyd, his last 5 years, he did everything he had to do to stay on top, you know. God, Bud 30, I didn't know he was that old. I thought he was going into 32. I did. I didn't know he was so. That means literally he can't fight again because of his salary until spring of next year. Think about it.
Yeah, no. See, Philip, we're not saying that he's too old now, but he's going to be out of his prime soon.
He's out of his prime. Like Bud is literally out of his prime. He's 33. Like he got one more fight in his prime. That's it. I'm talking about his next fight. He's going to be 33 and a half. He can't fight this year if he wants $3.5 million. Okay. It can't happen. All right. It can't happen because he can't leave the country. You understand what I'm saying? Like America ain't going to let you travel to these countries that got these, and they got this coronavirus going on. You know, it ain't going to happen. They ain't even let motherfuckers in. So, you know, so the point I'm making is not unless you got like work visas or some shit. I don't know if Bob can pull those strings, right? But they like it's so tough that Blue Blood flew to Florida. He has to quarantine for 14 days. You know what I mean? Like, and they said they check on you every day. Somebody come and check. Yeah, he's ask Blue Blood on his live tomorrow. He got a special guest coming on. I don't know who it is, but he got a special guest coming on 12 o'clock my time, 3 o'clock. 12 o'clock. This is the only time zone that matters. You know, everybody else is just like second tier. You know what I mean, DB?
Facts on facts on facts. H20 said drop the link. He ready to talk some boxing.
Shit. Why, nigga? Why? Why? I'm gonna have to adjust the volume.
Welcome to the show.
What's popping?
Hey, Fred.
Yep.
This Philip H. Hey, Bud only have like 3 more fighters that he could possibly fight, man.
Fighters or fights?
Fighters, whatever. Champions that are good. Champions that are worth putting on his resume. I mean, name me 5. 5 more fighters that he could put on his resume. You got what? Spence?
He can fight Lipinets if he loses. If Lipinets loses his next fight, he can fight Sergio Lipinets.
Why you want to put Lipinets on his resume, bro?
No, I'm being realistic. Like I'm not being jokey. I'm being realistic. If he loses next fight,
Earl Spence, Mikey Garcia, and
that fight will have to happen at 54. It's gonna happen at 50.
Those are. I mean, whatever way. But what I'm saying is those are the only dudes worth him putting on his resume.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Everybody else is gonna have to mature into a great fighter or whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
But that's my call, man. Have a good night.
Okay, peace.
Hey, bro, I'm at work.
Oh, you are? Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
That's love. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
All right,
Yeah, no doubt.
One.
Welcome to the show.
What it do? What going on with it? What's up with it?
DB live too.
Salam alaikum, Aki. What it do? Man, it's
What's
all
up,
good.
brother? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm loving the conversation, man. Great boxing talk right here.
It is a good conversation, right? We you know what we said? Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. This is before you go and hurt everyone's ears. This would tell you that Bob Arum, Oscar, and Floyd are losing momentum. No one cares that we stopped talking about Floyd. I thought y'all niggas want to talk about it, so I put it at the top. We don't give a fuck about it. That's funny how like we're transitioning out of the Floyd and Oscar shit. And now we're going into other fighters. What's up? Go ahead.
For sure. I want to talk about something that I seen today on ESPN. It was some fights on tonight, and they saying Terrence Crawford is rumored to be fighting Jose Ramirez. There's some type of rumor going on. I want to get y'all thoughts on Crawford versus Ramirez. I heard somebody say he needs to fight a Mexican fighter. You know what I mean? Ramirez. Okay, so I want to start off with DB. What you think about Jose Ramirez, Terrence Crawford?
I would like to see if that fight's going to take place, then I would rather see him fight somebody like Jesse Vargas. Because I don't know what Jose Ramirez is going to bring. Like fighting somebody of Bud's caliber. I think Bud beats him within 6 rounds.
For sure. They got some bad blood because Fred, you was at that fight. Jose Ramirez knocked out Maurice Hooker.
I was there. Oh, I sure was in Texas.
Yeah, you was there. I remember. And when he knocked out Hooker, he knocked out Maurice Hooker. You know that Terrence Crawford is cool with Maurice Hooker.
They're training together now.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
So I think Crawford kind of wants some get back for what happened to Maurice Hooker. Fred, you wanna get in on this?
Yeah. I mean, it's an intriguing fight. It's a great fight to build. It's a great fight to promote. He's coming up in weight. Like it's. I mean, we're not talking about Roberto Duran. We're not talking about we're talking Jose Ramirez. So. He had problems with Chris Zapata, whatever his name was.
Oh yeah, Zabita, who just fought on Tuesday.
Yeah, so I mean, he won that fight by 1 round. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Jose Ramirez is who he is, man. He's a good fighter who has fought the right opponents and very likable. He hasn't done nothing where I said like, damn, he's amazing. I haven't seen that out of him. He's good. He just haven't. I haven't seen nothing in him that okay, maybe I'll look forward to his fights.
For sure. Another thing I want to talk about is possible opponents for Jaron Ennis to make him a household name. Who do you think is going to give him that opportunity? Because he's young, he's coming up. Which fighter do you think is going to be a good fight for him to say like, yo, he got a good name on his resume?
A 34-year-old bud.
I'd say Sean Porter.
Yeah, Sean Porter. Yeah, Sean Porter. That's fucked up, man. Sean Porter could have been Evander Holyfield, dog. You know what I mean? Like he really could have been Evander Holyfield, dog. When did this nigga get this dumbass arrogance from? I mean, it's just stupid, man. He really could have been Evander Holyfield, the most likable guy in boxing. He tricked all that, calling Sean Earl. What do you call Earl jealous? He mad because I got his job, and Kenny saying he punked him at that restaurant. And Sean tricked off so much money, man.
I think it probably was that PBC job. When he was on a TV show, they got his head big. He blew his head up on the TV all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now no one. I don't even think no one's done a Sean Porter commentary video since March. I haven't seen his name in titles. I really haven't. Like, you know, he tricked all that shit off. And Bud gonna be the same way. You know, because when they fight, you know what I'm gonna say? These fighters didn't say shit when we was on the front lines fighting for Black Lives Matter. I'm telling you, they didn't. They didn't say shit. I can't because no matter how hard I fight, you reap the same benefits I get. You know what I mean? And when you say nothing and do nothing about it, you know what I mean? I just don't respect that. I genuinely don't. You know, and you guys have reached out to Bud. I saw you guys reach out to Sean and ask him, and they didn't respond. So I mean, good fighters, sure. Great men, I don't know. You know what I mean? So I mean,
Jay Good had a good matchup. He said Ennis against Rashidi Ellis. That's a really good fight.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a really good fight. Both of their names are not big enough. Like for us, because we boxing fans, Jay Good, I think we all look at that and be like, hell yeah, that's a great fight. But like in terms of like mass appeal, I don't think neither one of their names are big enough. So I think if he beat on Rashidi Ellis, I don't think many of the other fighters are going to want to fight him after that. They already don't want to fight him. But after that fight, then he'd fight Sean Porter. I think that'd be a great route for Boots.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know from y'all who you think is a better opponent for Boots, or what's more realistic, Sean Porter or Ugas? If you was a matchmaker for Jaron Ennis.
It's funny you say that because every day when I get bored, I do matchmaking and shit. You know what I mean? Like all of us in the chat. And I think PBC has thrusted Ugas in front of Sean Porter. And the reason here's why I say that. It's not what they say, it's the meaning behind what they say. And sometimes they don't even know what they're saying. I remember a Blue Blood interview. Blue Blood was in Vegas and he interviewed Kenny Porter in front of the Mayweather gym. Did you see that interview?
Yeah.
You did. And Kenny Porter was bragging about Al Heyman saying he can go across the street and try and get the Terrence Crawford fight. And I'm like, that I wouldn't do that if I was an employee. Like if I was a boss, I wouldn't tell my employee to go across the street and try and get another job. You know what I mean? And now last week, the WBA announced that Ugas is fighting for the WBA regular. So I think in terms of business, Ugas has surpassed Sean Porter. You know what I mean? And he has no one else to blame but himself. I mean, Sean and Bud, and we getting back to where we started. Keith Thurman could have been they all could have been as popular. You know what I mean? It's like the Lakers and the Celtics, right? Yeah, you want the Lakers to win. Yeah, you want the Celtics to win, but you don't say one name without the other. You don't say Bird without Magic. You've never thought about Magic without passively thinking about Bird. You've never thought about Bird without passively thinking about Magic. You know what I mean? It could have been those four guys, you know, and they fucking blew it, man. You know what I mean? It's just disheartening when you see it from a business standpoint and how much money was there. And now we're in COVID-19. It's like, now you're fucked. Now you're going to get 50 cents on the dollar now, 60 cents on the dollar in terms of your pay, you know, and and they're black. So I want them to get their black men, I want them to get all the money that they can get, you know, because they got to raise family. I think all of them are married. Yeah. All of them are married with beautiful families, beautiful wives. So, you know, you want them to get their money and create that generational wealth.
For sure. DB, what about you? What you think about for Boots, either Sean Porter or Ugas? What would you say is the better fight? And you know what I'm saying? What you think is better for him?
I like his style versus Ugas. I pick him to win. Ugas is very, very Cuban defensive style fighter. So I would take Sean Porter because even if he's reckless. He's still going to be very, very aggressive, so that'll make the fight good. And Boots counters pretty well. But Mr. Jada 20X said Boots Ennis versus Omar Figueroa. And I would like to see that fight right there.
Yeah, I think we found one. I
would like to see that fight right there.
Gotta catch weight so we can get Omar in the ring because that nigga don't train. You know, that nigga don't train. He just makes weight.
Omar from Texas too, right?
Yeah, him and his brother. Yeah, Brandon and
yeah.
He got some big ass hands though. His hands are like this big. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, black and brown, the old school rivalry. You know what I'm saying? The Figueroa last name is a big enough name to generate a certain amount of people.
Good call on that. Good call on that. I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
For sure. I got two more things and I'm gonna head out. I want to know y'all thoughts on. Okay, what's y'all thoughts on?
Are you doing a Thriller Part 2 music video tonight?
Hey, Fred always got jokes.
It's like a Thriller Jack, like you about to be a zombie or some shit. Anyway.
hey, so what y'all think about Sergey Derevyanchenko picking between Canelo and Charlo? You know, I'm hearing Derevyanchenko got offered a Charlo fight and a Canelo fight, and he's picking between those two. I want to get y'all thoughts on that.
You can go first this time.
Yeah, mine is real easy, man. I don't want to see Canelo fight anybody outside of Jamal Charlo or Boo Boo Andrade. That's it. I don't want to see Canelo fight anybody else. So I don't care who Derevyanchenko fights. Only people I want to see Canelo fight are just those two dudes right there. If he accept both of those fights, I'll be surprised. But if he take both of those fights and beat both of those dudes, then he can be ranked, as a pound for pound fighter to me. Until then, Canelo was barely making the top 10.
For sure. What about you, Fred?
First, shout out to Suge Knight in the super chat, dog. You got to put 2 more zeros on there, Suge. Put 2 more zeros on there, Suge. And you know niggas hate you because you like you don't want to see me dancing all in the videos, but you got a Yankee hat on, dog. What's up with that?
Hey, yo, good looking out.
Appreciate you, KO. That's love, homie. Hey, what was the question?
Sergey Derevyanchenko.
I don't give a fuck about none of them motherfuckers. I'll be honest. Sergey, gay, he gay, she gay. I don't give a fuck about none of them motherfuckers. Like, for real. Canelo's a drug cheat, you know. I want what's the dude name? The brother?
The brother. Charlo?
Yeah, Charlo. Charlo deserves it, man. Charlo deserves it. Because Charlo was actually, I believe, his spirit wants to fight the best. You know, I believe, you know what I mean? I think he does, you know, so.
But look, Fred, Charlo was offered Derevyanchenko. He wasn't, Derevyanchenko got the option of fighting Canelo or Charlo. So what you think about Derevyanchenko, Charlo? You like that fight for Charlo at middleweight?
I mean, yeah, if you want to talk about it from a stylistic standpoint, it's a great fight either way. He's definitely a 6-cylinder car. He's gonna get you there, but you know what I mean, it's not gonna be in the time. It's not gonna be in the time in which you desire. I think Charlo is an 8-cylinder, you know, if not a V12, you know. So he's gonna look good losing. I think Sergey will look good losing. I think he should choose Canelo. I think he should choose a safer fight.
Derevyanchenko should take Canelo or Charlo.
I think he should. I mean, for him, I think he should take
Canelo. The money. For sure.
Canelo. The reason why he should take Canelo because if he fights Charlo, he might get knocked out. If he fights Canelo's going to pay him a lot of money to take a dive.
Yeah, take a dive. Sure. And he ain't going to knock him out. You know what I mean?
Canelo, he might knock him out, but he's going to give him the Sergey treatment. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's going to pay him a lot of money to look decent for 5 or 6 rounds, and then Canelo with a devastating knockout.
Yeah. I forgot about
that. For sure. Okay. My last question. Caleb Plant, man. What do you guys think about Caleb Plant? Do y'all think he's the real deal IBF super middleweight champion? Fred, okay, start off with Fred. You like him?
Love him. I love everything about him. I saw him on his birthday working out. I think that men like him deserve everything he's got. Man has had the roughest year in the history of humankind. You know what I mean? Mom gone, daughter gone. Now his best friend just passed away. One of his great friends just passed away weeks ago, a couple days ago. You know, like mom, man, he can't catch a break. So I'm going to forever root for Caleb. I think every day, and I'll tell Caleb this to his face, every day that fight swings 52-48 because you leading us to Benavidez, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Every day it changes 52-48, 55-45, 52-48, 51-49, 53-47. It swings on that pendulum every day. And that's what I would tell Caleb Plant. Like I'm rooting for Caleb, you know, but I'm telling him you got to have the camp of your life. You know what I mean? You got to be great to beat David Benavidez. David Benavidez is the real deal. Hands down. Fuck with no.
I agree with Fred wholeheartely. I think that David Benavidez fight, I think Caleb Plant is the goods. I think he got some good skills, you know. He's got some good rhythm for the obvious reason. But I think the David Benavidez fight is really what's going to let us know if he's next level. Because he can, you know, there's two gatekeepers. There's a mid-level gatekeeper, and then there's a gatekeeper to the championship, right, to a title. And if he beats David Benavidez, then he's among the elite at that weight class.
In the world.
If he can beat Benavidez and maybe two more guys like Darrell and possibly Canelo, but you know Canelo's always going to move around based off of who's winning. So if he beats David Benavidez, especially in a devastating fashion, Canelo's not going to go back to that division to fight anybody. But I think if you give him two fights, Benavidez and maybe a Darrell fight, and if he beat those two dudes right there, then yeah, he's definitely the face of that division.
For sure.
And potentially moving into the pound for pound.
Hey, do y'all? Well, I just want to say I favor Caleb Plant in that fight against Benavidez. I think Plant, bro, he got the skills to pay the bills. Just his footwork, his defense is solid, and he's dedicated to the sport, man. You know, he's really dedicated, and he's focused. Like he's so focused in that ring, man. You know, and he's straight boxing. Benavidez, we heard about Benavidez out the ring, bro. Some of his issues. You know what I mean? Using narcotics and things like that. You know what I mean? I feel like that could possibly hurt him in the ring. His lack of dedication, maybe. And Plant gonna be tunnel vision, bro. He got tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? He definitely got tunnel vision. And one thing about it, Benavidez, he got power, he got hand speed, you know what I mean? But he's flat-footed. And his feet is very slow, bro. His feet is very slow. You know what I mean? And Plant can make adjustments in that ring. I think Plant, bro, he might give him a boxing lesson. He might shock the world. You know what I'm saying? And before I dip, I want to ask both of y'all, do y'all see any similarities between Caleb Plant's, his fighting style, just his style of fighting, and Andre Ward? Anything, you know what I'm saying? Just like, you know, Andre Ward wasn't the biggest puncher, but Andre Ward was a technician in the ring. He was smart as hell. You know what I'm saying? So any similarities, DB, that you see in Caleb Plant, his style to Andre Ward? Because somebody told me like, yo, Plant like Andre Ward in the ring. I just want to hear from you, DB.
Yeah, they got some similarities. They both put on gloves. They lace them up. They both wear shorts, and they fight in the ring. But I think Andre, I don't know, man. I got to see some because we saw Andre Ward fight a lot of high-level people.
Yeah.
And we saw Andre Ward be able to box. We saw him being able to use defense. We also saw him being able to go forward against bigger and harder hitting opponents and break them down. You know what I'm saying? So it's still kind of too early in the game to be able to tell. Like I said, once we get like a Darrell and a Benavidez fight, then we could have the conversation again in 2021.
Yeah. I think Andre Ward was a great fighter, dog. Like, I mean, he was, damn, he was good. Andre Ward was really good, dog. Like, it's like watching Mitch Richmond play basketball, you know, like 25-5, 25-3, you know what I mean? Yeah, he doesn't dunk the basketball. He doesn't get the knockouts, one-punch knockout. Yeah, I mean, he's not Andre Ward yet. I don't think so. I like the intellect. I see the intellect that Caleb Plant has. But Andre Ward, the ability just to fight inside and be gritty. Andre Ward was a real dog, though. Like, he don't get credit because he didn't talk like it. But that he was a nigga in there, though, man. Like,
Andre Ward, are you listening right now? You heard what Fred said, right?
Yeah. But we talking truths, right? I'm not gonna. You don't take away what a man earned, right? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, if he earned it, he earned it. That nigga was a dog, man. He wasn't it outside the ring, so he's not gonna never get credit from it outside of a boxing conversation. You know, so yeah, Andre Ward was that nigga, dog. Like, sheesh. Yeah, Andre Ward was really good. You know,
he was.
Yeah, he was
the truth for sure, man. Shout out to Ward, man. He was a hell of a fighter, man. Olympic gold medalist. He was undefeated. You know what I'm saying? He didn't lose a fight since he was 12 years old in the amateurs, man.
I heard about that.
For sure. He was a dog, Fred. You right. Like, his inside fighting, man, you know what I'm saying? The dude was rough as hell, bro. He was rough.
Beautiful. I fucks with Ward in the ring. You know what I mean? I'll never, man. Anyways, he was a great fight. We're not gonna get on the other side of the mountain on Ward, but continue.
For sure. And breaking news before I dip off: Shakur Stevenson has vacated his featherweight title at 126 pounds. He said he's moving up to 130. He want that work with everybody. That's what he's saying.
I don't know why he vacated. He should hold on to that belt until he got a fight. Don't vacate if you ain't got no fight yet. Just my take on it. You know what I mean? Like, if you ain't got no fight lined up, why release the belt? You ain't got to pay sanctioning fees until you walk in the ring, right? And that's just that's from a business move. Now he has no power. I mean, obviously Bob gonna say, yeah, we gonna get you this fight. We gonna get you here. We gonna get you Leo Santa Cruz. And the Mexicans are fighting each other at 130. Trust me, they ain't fighting Shakur. so I would have held on to the little bit of power that I had, you know, and maybe you can get a fight at 126, 130. But like I said, Tank, Shakur, I did a video on this maybe 2 months ago. They need to fight each other. Them 3 or 4 guys need to fight each other. Devin doesn't have an opponent. You know what I mean? We're gonna have Mr. Haney in here probably the first week of August, since we're all booked up for July. But yeah, man. So it's just my take on it. Fight Gary Russell. Fuck it. Gary Russell deserves a fight. Gary Russell fucking deserves a fight, dog. Like he PBC ain't being the best to him. You know what I mean? He wore that shirt. Al, what's up with Leo or some shit like that? Remember that? Yeah. So Al got to give him Leo. Al got to give him Abner Mares. Al got to give him somebody. You know what I mean? Got to give him somebody. Gary Russell deserves it, man. He's been a good and faithful servant. He's the longest standing champion in American boxing. He's the longest reigning champion in American boxing. You know what I mean? So Gary Russell's on schedule to fight 1 time a year, and he was on schedule to fight 3 times, dog. Fuck that, man. You know, man, Gary Russell fought in January or some shit, and now look at this shit. You know, man. I'm a forever supporter of Gary Russell. Mr. Gary. Yeah, thank you. He calls him Mr. Gary Russell. You're absolutely right. So I'll forever root for Gary Russell, you know. So I think Al gotta do his part with Gary Russell. For real. I think Al Heyman gotta do his part.
For sure. 1 fight a year is not enough, Fred. And that he been doing that for the past 5 years. It's been 5 years straight. He's been fighting once a year. He's a good fighter. He got a lot of skills. You know what I mean? We want to see him stay active. And yeah, man, he should be a little bit more popular. Like, Fred, I feel like you really turned him up. And you know what I'm saying? That interview you did in the hotel with him, and even Blue Bloods when he was calling out Javante and all of that, it gave him a buzz. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I think, man, Gary should be a bigger star than what he is. You know what I mean? For real. Gary, he definitely should, man.
Yeah, man. He whatever he does, I'll support it. You know, I'll even be there in person. He's a good guy, man. He's a good guy. Al didn't do him right in terms of business wise. You know what I mean? Abner Mares and Leo Santa Cruz shouldn't have fought a second time. You know what I mean? Like, for what? fuck we want to see that for? Yeah, I don't want to see that shit. You know what I mean? Even though it was an LA fight, you know, like I ain't got to travel, but I want to see Gary get his justice, man. Gary's a freak, man. He's freakish special, man. Freakish special, you know. So hopefully at 130, 135, we can get some action, you know what I mean? Or maybe somebody's catch weight, you know, maybe. I actually think Devin should fight him. You know what I mean? Devin should fight Mr. Gary Russell. I think they should fight. I don't think Shakur is ready for Gary Russell. I don't think so at all. I don't think he's mature enough.
I don't know.
Talk about it. I don't
know. I think that Shakur is a similar version of Gary Russell, but better. Just Gary Russell. The only thing that Gary Russell has over Shakur is just the experience. I mean, he's faster too, of course, but you know, he kind of suffers from the same thing Bud did, right? He waits too long in between fights, and the level of competition is not always great. You know, what's old boy name with the cockeyed fool? What's his name?
Tevin Farmer.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And then what's the dude that just beat Tevin Farmer? What's his name?
Jojo Diaz.
Right. You know, so Gary Russell got plenty of people that he could have been fighting, you know, every 5 to 6 months to keep him hella active and busy. And then I would say if he fought those guys, was active and was winning, then I would say, yeah, Shakur got his hands full. But Shakur's staying active. He's younger. I think they're going to box each other. It's going to look good for about 6 rounds. And then after that, Shakur is just going to start taking off.
He got skills for sure. You know what I'm saying? He said he talking about 130. Man, I think, man, the boogeyman at 130, I'm going to be real. Miguel Burchett, bro, 38 wins, 34 knockouts. And on his Instagram live today, Shakur was like, yo, I'm not scared of Burchett. They acting like he's some god and all of this. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? He said that, bro. He was like, they acting like he's a god. He's the boogeyman. He said, I ain't afraid of him, bro. Hopefully in the future, you know what I mean? I think that's a good fight. They both on Top Rank. You know what I'm saying? Same promoter, Bob Arum, same network. I mean, it makes sense.
Shit ain't happening. Tevin Farmer with that nigga Jay Good. Jay Good said Tevin Farmer, Tiny Lister Jr.
God damn. Oh man, hell yeah. Baby Demo.
You a funny nigga, dog. You a funny nigga.
For sure, man. It was great
from the hood.
For sure, man. It was great talking about.
I ain't talking back to Jay Good. Shit.
For sure, man. It was a great conversation. Man, appreciate y'all, my brother. You know what I mean? I'm gonna come back tomorrow, hopefully, God willing, and we're gonna chop it up some more.
You're gonna come back Sunday.
Yes,
Thursday. You'll be back on our normal schedule. You'll be back on our normal schedule.
Okay, for sure.
Good stuff, Ace Money.
Sure, appreciate that. Appreciate that, Akeem, man. Hey, Fred, I'm back in the chat, by the way, man. I have made a secondary account. I know you see me in there, bro.
I saw that. Appreciate it. All right.
Love.
My nigga, this is dedication. This is anti-hesitation. It's a real nigga celebration.
Since he questioned David Benavidez's dedication. You know, we got to get David Benavidez on the show. Me and his dad are cool. His dad and I are cool. And what, Tiny Listen Jr., that shit funny, right?
No, that's what Slim said.
Who?
His eye is on the sparrow. Husky Slim is a funny dude, man.
Oh my god, y'all niggas got jokes. His eyes is on the sparrow, dog.
Yeah.
Man.
What was you saying? I didn't even hear you. What was you saying before that, Fred?
No, I just played dedication because he said David Benavidez lack of dedication could play a role in the fight. You know what I mean? So I just played dedication. No, nothing big.
Yeah. Where Reggie at?
Hey, Reggie, you want to co-host with me on Sunday? I'll start taking lists. If y'all want to co-host with me, we got, let's see. I need a co-host for Wednesday and Thursday of next week. Who wants to co-host with me? Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday. More than welcome to. Are you? No, Sunday. Reg, you gonna co-host a show with me on Sunday? It'll be fun, man. Why not?
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
You on the first,
Yeah,
the first day of each month?
Reg is Sunday. So if you wanna co-host with me on Wednesday, just DM me. You know what I mean? Just DM me. Silent Heroes, we'll get it done. Wednesday and Thursday. What's up? What'd you say?
No, it's like the first day of each month. You should have a ladies' night. You should have Unique Don and Patty Dean do it together with you.
Okay.
So once a month, the first of each month. You know what I'm saying? Right after y'all get y'all check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we gotta have
come on in.
Yeah, we gotta have a production meeting first though.
Yeah, let's do it at Simply Wholesome.
Nah, nigga. In my bedroom, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. Oh, man. You know what I mean? Shit.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll prep them for the meeting though.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta fly Unique Don in. You know what I mean? We gotta fly him in. You know what I mean? Gotta fly him in. So
mm-hmm. Hey, there go Patty Dean right there.
Oh, speaking of the devil. Speaking of the devil. So
speaking of the angel, huh? Speaking of the angel.
Yeah, speaking of the angel. Ooh, Fred. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ooh, Fred it is. Yeah, you know what I mean? Gotta learn
Patty Dean, you and Unique Dawn first of each month.
Sure, why not? We got for sure.
Every month y'all gotta come in with a different hairstyle, a bob, a wig, a weave, dookie braids. So every month y'all come in with a different style.
Why not?
And, hey, just so you know, Unique Don. So me and her and Eric from St. Louis, we be in here talking about music. Shit, Patty know music too, but Unique Don really, you could put as a matter of fact.
She a hip hop. She a hip hop queen. Old school hip hop.
Music, period. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we, as a matter of fact, me and Patty probably got the same taste in terms of music, but me and Unique Don, like we got some shit, man. We got a secret little relationship in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you and Unique Don?
That's my music wife.
Oh, that's your music wife.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Oh, she don't got me on speaker with her dude listening and shit, looking at her like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, take me off a speaker and drop it like it's hot.
She got you on Bluetooth and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so where were we? What are we talking about? Did you watch the boxing on?
Hell no.
Not that you care, but oh, by the way, did y'all see? Give a round of applause to Brian Custard. Brian Custard interviewed Steven Jackson today or yesterday, the 9th.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I watched it. It's 42 minutes. I watched it. So when you guys get a chance, go to Brian Custard's YouTube. It was a very good interview. Very, very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. Go enjoy it. I watched it. Right before I got right before I started the show. So it's a very good interview. So go check it out. It's on Brian Custard's YouTube channel. And do yourself a favor. Yeah, he was talking strong, and that's why. See, I'm glad he did. Thank you. Now we can talk about it. Tomorrow, Sunday, we'll talk about this even more. Give us a topic too, Reg. Whatever you want to talk about on Sunday, I'm game.
Fuck Donald Trump. Shit,
I already know you're gonna go FTB or FDP, whatever. FDT.
Screw the orange people. There you go.
Yeah, the Orange Nation, Syracuse Orangemen. Yeah, the U.S. Orangemen. So, you can see the comfortability in that interview versus Don the Lemon. That's why I say if you're not ready to double and triple down on what you say, don't interview with them. Don't interview with them until you have the confidence and the articulation and the wherewithal and to know how to navigate a conversation. You know what I mean? And to know how to be interviewed. Don't go. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna play you. You know. And he was slightly played yesterday on Don the Lemon, but he came back strong on Brian Custard. You know what I mean? And I thought it was a hell of an interview. So he needs to start talking on platforms like this because he's never been like a a pillar. He's never been a pillar like this. You know, I mean, he's been a great teammate that I can see from a distance, you know, for the years that he was in the NBA, but he's never had to be a pillar for an entire culture. And I think it takes time, you know what I mean, to know and learn and how to speak for the masses, you know, and he's getting it though. He's getting it. And I'm happy for him. But go check out that interview. It's a good interview. Go ahead, DB.
No, I was just saying, damn, what the fuck was I just saying?
I'm talking too much.
I just lost my thought.
Y'all can still call in though. I got a second line open, so feel free to call. Call me now.
Call me now.
Facts, man. Big facts. So what we got this
Patty
weekend?
Dean, call in and say hi.
Patty Dean, call in and say hi. Hi.
Yeah, that's it. Then the whole chat gonna light up.
And the whole chat gonna light up.
Did you hear her voice? Did you see the way that she changed her pitch? The intonation? Patty, you a queen. Like, yeah, they gonna start going crazy if Patty called in and say hi and hung up. Yeah.
How about Wilder? What's going on with Wilder? Anything new?
Yeah, same thing. But you know, I'm not on social media, so shit, I'll be hella late. I'll be catching shit on YouTube, or somebody gotta, you know, one of my friends send me some shit, you know, because everybody follow Deontay.
Yeah.
I've been on, you know, I'm heavily into mixed martial arts. So I'm on MMA shit more than I am on boxing, actually.
Oh.
So I'm on.
So what's popping this weekend? Is it good fights this weekend?
Yeah. So the welterweight champion, his name is Kamaru Dean. They call him Kamaru Usman. His nickname is the Nigerian Nightmare. He's fighting against a dude, a Cuban dude. Well, he's American, but he's of Cuban descent. His name is Jorge Masvidal.
He just
AKA
fought, right?
Chicken George.
He just
Say it
fought.
again?
He just fought, right?
Yeah, he fought not just, but he fought a couple of months ago. He fought against Nate Diaz. Remember when Canelo was getting ready to fight against Sergey Kovalev? And they didn't start the fight.
That was the fight. That was the fight.
That was the fight. He fought Nate Diaz that night. And but anyway, so yeah, that fight is taking place. And in that fight right there, my prediction is Kamaru Usman shows a whole bunch of pressure, put a shitload of pressure on him, change levels on him, take him down, and beat on him somewhere in the later part of the first round. In the second round, Masvidal's going to be tired, and he's going to be frustrated from being smothered, and he's going to try to use distance, and he'll try to use some low kicks, because if he try to kick high, he can take him down again. Usman just going to maul him and beat him up.
Okay. Is Masvidal any good? Whatever his name is?
He's better than what his record shows. He's got like 13 losses on his record, and out of those 13 losses, like 7 or 8 of them are like split decision losses.
Gotcha.
So, you know, he's been on the wrong side of the judges' scorecards, but nevertheless, he's got like 13 losses. He had some recent success, you know what I mean? But
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the Nigerian Nightmare is just he's a hardcore wrestler at his core, you know, trained at the Olympic Training Center, like coming up. He got great cardio, you know. I mean, if you look at him, he's come from that same bloodline as Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou. He's from that same.
Gotcha.
We got the same great grandfather. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
He's just a dog. And then Jose Aldo, who's a long time 145-pound champion, fighting against a dude named Peter Yan. That's a tough fight right there, because they used to be sparring partners, and Jose used to beat him up in sparring. But Yan has made some strides in the last like 2 to 3 years, and he's been beating up on dudes, knocking them out. So I want Jose to win, but I think Peter Yan's going to edge him out in that fight. And who else? Thug Rose, that's my girl. So I don't care who Thug Rose is fighting in that division. I think she's the best female fighter in that division. So I got her winning that. And there's one more fight. Shit, why am I? Damn it. Who else is fighting? Somebody tell me in the chat.
Oh, we got a guest.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
What's popping, big homie?
What's up, my homie? I was sitting back cooking while I was listening in, and then you had brought up the MMA thing.
Oh, go ahead.
What do you think about the situation with Mike Perry and the way that what he did and the way the media is kind of keeping everything hush hush? I don't know if you guys saw what he did.
That's a great point. So Mike Perry was in a restaurant. I think it was either last night or the day before yesterday with his new girlfriend. And they're sitting there and he's had a few drinks and he started getting touchy with one of the waitresses, which happened to be his girlfriend's friend. And I don't know if he was touching her in a way that was sexual or if he was just kind of like manhandling her and she didn't like it. So another dude came by, he started talking more reckless and crazy to everybody in the restaurant. Finally, management came over, told Mike Perry to leave. He's towards the front of the restaurant. An old man who I think he was the manager of the restaurant, kind of put his hands up and like moved forward, and Mike Perry hit the man in his temple and had the man unconscious before he hit the ground. So obviously his head bounced off the cement. You know what I mean? And then they called the police. The police came in 15 minutes later, they say 10 or 15 minutes later, and the guy was still unconscious when he came in. So Mike Perry is a piece of shit, just like Conor McGregor for doing that. And just like with Conor McGregor, they always sweep this shit under the rug when it's the mayonnaise nation. You know, when John Jones had his crazy things happen outside of the ring, whether it's a hit and run or whatever he's doing, I mean, it's highly publicized. It's all over the fucking media, you know. And Mike Perry is basically, they trying to let it fly under the radar so they can use his recent star power to keep promoting him as a fighter when they should drop his ass from the promotion, period. What you think, Reg?
Yeah, you said everything I was going to say, man. That's exactly what I was getting at, is the fact that they throw everything under the rug when it's these type of fighters. Like you said, mayonnaise nation. If it was John Jones can have a simple DUI. Dana White comes being outspoken, demeaning this guy, calling him a scumbag, all type of pieces of shit. Mike Perry can act belligerent, been acting belligerent for a long fucking time. But then he can go in there and knock an old man out. And not only does Dana White ignore it, ESPN, Fox News, all the ones who try to get on Deshaun Jackson. Every single one of these people have spoken out about Deshaun Jackson for an Instagram post, seem to be very quiet about Mike Perry knocking out this old man. And this is the type of shit I'm talking about when it relates to these type of sports, and mainly these sectors of sport, which mainly have a white audience base. The MMA ain't too internationally grown inside of America like boxing is, where it's a multinational type sport. This is a sport that really caters towards a white audience group out here, and they do anything to kind of cover up for these type of fighters, and it's bullshit. The same way with Conor McGregor, the way anything that Conor McGregor does, somehow they find a way of kind of keeping the wraps on that, not making a big issue, but they kind of they keep the microscope on anything that John Jones does, and they're just looking for anything negative. This is the most negative. Those two have committed the most negative acts you've seen in the UFC, and not once do you see any backlash behind it. As a matter of fact, the one incident where Conor McGregor ends up injuring some goddamn fighters, which if it was any other fighter of a different complexion would have been suspended or thrown off the UFC. They use it for a promotional bill. And this is how disgusting Dana White's behavior is. Dana White trades out his best damn fighter he even had in the promotion in a long time for the white dude who Masvidal fuck around, knocked out in like 10 seconds and shit. What was his other name? What was the other dude who missed weight? DB? Why I can't think of his name.
Which one?
Remember Dana White? Huh?
You could say it one more time, Rich?
The one that Dana White kicked out because he was missing weight. He was a star too. He was a black dude.
Anthony Rumble Johnson.
Yeah, Rumble Johnson. They get put out the damn UFC. He gets put out for missing weight when it was a champion that they had. I can't think of his name. And was it one dude? I can't think of this damn dude, Hendricks. I think Johnny Hendricks. He was missing weight, having all type of issues. Dana White ain't do shit to put him out. Dana White has a little one
different
white
weight classes, 2 or 3 different weight classes.
Huh?
Yeah, he was missing weight at 170 3 or 4 times. They moved him up to 185, and he was still missing weight and still had opportunities to fight, to fight in the promotion.
Right. Still there. And Dana White has these complexity standards with the way he runs shit. And it's like, it's BS, but I wish more black media folks got behind on opening these stories. When they treat certain things in a certain light, we need to get behind it and open it to the same light. And this part of being unapologetically black is like what I was speaking on. It doesn't always have to be rah-rah, but like I said, like I also say, being unapologetically black doesn't mean being anti-white. Anti-white. It's just being real and being true. If there's a standard of something, that standard gonna hold true to everything in existence. So when you set precedents on one to ridicule a particular fighter, we know him mainly because of his race, we're gonna hold the white fighter to the same fucking standard. And that's the same thing with Mike Perry. So ESPN, Dana White, Fox Sports, CNN, where the fuck are y'all? Where are they at? And that's kind of what all I want to open up about on that one.
Yeah, man, it's combat sports brings out the worst in people, man, and it shows their true colors. Because I'm in MMA platforms and sites just as much as I am, or more than I am in boxing. And first, after I watch the video, of course, then I go through the comment sections, and I don't see anything about Mike Perry. You see because once I see somebody make a certain comment, I click on their profile when I look at the videos, and I look and see like everything. And, I see the music that they listen to, and I can tell who they are, right? I see you got all rock videos, you a video game playing dude, you stuck in your mama's basement, and you're probably a Sergey Kovalev fan too, right? But I see these dudes, and they start making really, really bigoted and racial comments. They get a guy, for example, like a Mike Perry, and they start saying shit like, "Oh, he's a savage," like, "Oh," you know what I mean? Like that shit is not cool. You do not hit an old man in his head like that. That shit is not cool. But yeah, it's not just him. It's also the media backing him up, or backing him up by not, putting it on Front Street. And I can't stand it. If y'all ever go to any MMA site, you go to any site today, look in the chat, you finna see me in there going bananas. Yeah, it's crazy. Somebody just asked about the other fight. The other fight was the Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski fight. That was the other fight right there. In that fight, man, that's a tough one, man. That's literally a 50-50 fight. Volkanovski has to continue with those heavy low kicks, and he's got to try to get some takedowns. And if he can execute some takedowns and stay on top of Max for a while, then he'll have the advantage. Max is a super tall dude for that, and he's got great boxing. So if Max can use his length and stay at range, he'll do well. And he's also got to be able to check those low kicks. He does well with changing his stance, kind of like Bud, right? He can go from southpaw to conventional, but he's got to check those low kicks. And if he can, then Max will probably find success. But I don't think anybody finishes the other guy. I think it goes to the judge's scorecard in an electric fight.
Well, Reg is probably going to do play-by-play. Are you doing play-by-play Saturday?
I don't know, man, because it's a pay-per-view fight. And I really don't. My thing is, I don't really fuck with Dana White. I don't fuck around thinking about putting money on his promotions unless it's a fighter I like, which is probably like 3 or 4 fighters. I like.
You ain't got to pay for it.
Yeah, that's what and then they popped the fight up out of nowhere. They made this fight like a week ago or something, right? It just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah, he just took the fight.
But I want to talk on that real quick. So do not be confused about that. This fight was on July 6th of 2019. George Masvidal beat Ben Askren with that flying knee. After that fight, it was already said by Dana White and by the UFC brass that George Masvidal was the #1 contender and up for a title shot. So he knew from July 6th, what is today, the 8th, the 9th? So it's been over a year since he's known. And Dustin Poirier, which is George Masvidal's one of his sparring partners and gym mates, put out in an article about 2 days ago. He said, "Nah, this dude hasn't stopped training for Masvidal since he won that fight, and they knew that he was going to have to fight Kamaru Usman at some point." So he didn't get the Usman fight because Nate Diaz won a fight. I can't remember who Nate beat up. He beat up Showtime Pettis, and he caught out Masvidal. So other than that Nate Diaz fight, though, he was always training. So it's been a year that he's been training. And, he comes from American Top Team in Florida, which is like one of probably the biggest gym outside of Jackson Wink in the MMA community. And they got tons and tons of judokas and jiu-jitsu players and catch wrestlers. So this dude is not out of shape, so don't fall for that bullshit about this being this dude coming off the couch like he was sitting out of shape and he's got to cut weight. This dude has been training for this fight for a long, long time, and he's not going to be rusty. But they're trying to have a built-in excuse for this dude when Usman put him on his ass and started dropping them big-ass elbows on him. That's my piece.
Yeah, I'm gonna see, man. I rock with Masvidal from the
Kimbo Slice backyard fight.
Yeah, from the Kimbo fights and shit. And then when I first started seeing him on them little smaller promotional companies before he came to UFC, so I've been rocking with the cat. And then I like from when he knocked out. The thing I like about Masvidal is he speaks up about the bullshit with Dana White, and he does it in the most slide type way. He does it in like some real player ass way about speaking about it. Because it was something he made a statement about when Dana White was doing shit. It seemed like white fighters getting all these opportunities, and he make a statement like, "Damn, what do I need to get? Be blonde hair and blue eyes? I can blind my hair, and I'll get blue eye contact, like just to be able to get a fight." Then when they move Aspirin in, which I thought was the most disrespectful shit I've ever seen in the sport, where he got rid of Mighty Mouse Johnson in the trade for aspirin. Motherfucking Masvidal ran across that ring and kneed and knocked this dude out, and then start punching on the dude. And then the news reporters, here come these old punks in media talking about, well, do you think that was unnecessary and blah blah blah? And his response to it was like, it was very necessary. And he come up with the reason behind it, like, the ref ain't stopped me. I know if the guy get back up and died just out cold, but he did it to make a statement to Dana White. Like, you bring any of these bums up in here, I'm thrashing them. And that's basically what he did. So I rock with him from that standpoint. He's just a regular real motherfucker.
So you're the perfect person to have on the phone when I tell you this. So George Masvidal's best friend, roommate, and training partner is Colby Covington. Colby Covington, his claim to fame is being Donald Trump's favorite fighter. He's been to the White House. He walks on in MAGA hats. George Masvidal is also a big Donald Trump supporter, even though his dad escaped and jumped on a boat with a coyote and came over here from Cuba. George Masvidal also is a Donald Trump fan and wears MAGA hats.
Oh, see, I ain't see that, man. You should have heard that.
Yeah. Trust me, this MMA shit, I know this. And George Masvidal is a sucker. He at the end of his fight with, I believe it was with that fight when he kneed Ben Askren, he went backstage and Leon Edwards was backstage and he sucker punched Leon Edwards, right? Hit him in his head 2 or 3 times. And they were, I believe, ranked either 3 and 4. And at that time, they should have been the ones fighting each other because number 1 was fighting number 2. I think Khabib was set up to fight Conor, and then 3 and 4, Masvidal should have been fighting against Leon Edwards. You sucker punched this dude backstage. I got a built-in storyline, and he refused to fight him. So you won't give him a head-up fade, but you're going to sucker punch him? Man, I ain't with that sucker shit. And this dude walk around with pink robes on, trying to be Conor McGregor and trying to be like an Al Pacino. Man, get up out of here with that fake mafioso bullshit. I got some brothers for you. You know what I'm saying? So I got Leon Edwards whooping his ass, too, later on. But yeah, it's all about Kamaru Usman, man. This is an Usman division right now, and Kamaru Usman gonna pounce on this dude. And the only people that can contend with him would be a Tyron Woodley, and he already mashed on Woodley. So Leon Edwards is the only other person that probably got a shot at having a decent fight against Kamaru.
Oh, Usman was the one that beat Woodley.
Woodley got beat up by Gilbert Burns a couple of weeks ago. Tyron Woodley just he is, let me see. I don't want to say Keith Thurman. I don't know, man. Something just happened with Tyron Woodley, and he
lost 2 in a row.
Oh, right? You know what? He's what's the Cuban name that the Cuban that Canelo beat?
Lara.
Oh, Lara.
Lara. There you go. He goes out there and he's in the fight, but he doesn't throw. He doesn't have any fucking offense. The dude got his hands up and he's just bouncing up and down. He's just moving, just bobbing in and out. And he's not threatening with any offense. He's extremely explosive, got tons of power, a great high level wrestler, but he just don't have no confidence in himself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those dudes, once he gets hit, he'll let you know that he got hit. He gonna stay away from you. But Usman beat him up though, threw him on his head and beat his ass up for 5 rounds.
Beat Woodley up? Okay, I gotta watch that. Usman and Woodley. I want to see what Usman is like. Okay.
Yeah, Woodley on and off, man. That's the shit that bugs me, man. He should be great. And that's another dude. Dana White targeted that dude. Dana White targeted Tyron Woodley, but like you say, he's inconsistent. He's like a Lamar Odom to me. He can be so great, but on and off inconsistent as hell. But
yeah. Now T. Wood will speak up because he was the first person to say whenever the media or somebody's doing something, he'd say, "Nah, it's because I'm black, y'all. That's blatant racism." You know, he was the first fighter to ever say that, and I don't think before him any fighter ever said that. You know, so you got to respect him for that. You know, he like, look, I don't got, and this is one of the same things that we can say about certain people, right? So this guy's got, you know, his kids are all by the same person. You know, he's got a college education. He represented in the Olympics, and
Woodley?
you know,
Tyron
he's got
Woodley?
no scandals outside the ring.
Woodley?
Say it again.
Woodley?
Yeah, Woodley is almost like he's almost, put it this way, he's like Bud. He got a black wife. He's been with the same woman since high school. His high school sweetheart. I think he got 5 or 6 kids.
Beautiful.
You know what I mean? Like his kids are all in sports, and his daughter's a ballerina and the whole 9 yards. Beautiful. He got no record outside of there. You know, he was an Olympic alternate. I mean, all of the things that they, quote unquote, think that we should be, that's exactly what he is, but they still hate him. You see, when we got guys like a John Jones, they can hate John Jones because he had an accident outside. He's sniffing cocaine. You know what I mean? Like he fell for PEDs. Like they got a reason to. But when they got dudes like Israel Adesanya, Tyron Woodley, Francis Ngannou, like these guys don't have there's no controversy. So when they say they don't like him, you know exactly what they mean. It's kind of like Floyd and Deontay. Floyd was a tactician. We hate this guy. He's a chicken. He's a runner. Okay, then you get you get a Deontay Wilder in there knocking dudes out in the first round. But I don't like the way he throws his punches. He doesn't have enough skill. That's the same thing they do with Francis Ngannou. He'd get in there and he'd start doming these fools, taking their fucking head off in the first round. Now they want to talk about his skill. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to stop. I'm going to be talking about this MMA shit all night. You're going to have me doing push-ups. I'm going to be on my Drew Titan shit. I'm going to go run, do push-ups. I'm going to be shadow boxing and shit.
That's what's up.
Yeah, no, I like this part
about
MMA.
H Money said, what do I think about Paulo Costa? I think Paulo Costa is a juice head. I think he on juice. I mean, they caught him one time. They cracked him for steroids or PEDs. Last year, he served his suspension. He coming off of a bicep tear injury. He gonna get in the ring with Israel Adesanya, and Adesanya is the new Anderson Silva. Adesanya gonna pick him apart, you know, and he'll probably TKO him somewhere between 3 and 5 rounds. Adesanya is a high-level kickboxer and a tactician in that ring. You know, so you got 2 African champions, and once Daniel Cormier knocks out Stipe Miocic, and then he retires, it's gonna be a vacant belt. So Francis Ngannou will probably be fighting Stipe. We're gonna have 3 African champions, 3 West African champions simultaneously. Ain't that some shit?
Man, that's why I want to ask when you brought up about Acosta, because I think that motherfucker on that too. What's the damn drug program like in the UFC? Are they just testing fighters when they're in competition or what? Because I don't hear too many.
No, that shit is crazy too, which is another reason why a lot of fighters don't really like fucking with the UFC like that. They do a whole bunch of testing. These dudes test when they in and out. When they go out of the country, wherever they go, they have to notify USADA. You know, so you know some of the boxers don't use USADA. Sometimes they'll use USADA. Sometimes they'll use WADA or VADA. USADA for every single fighter in the UFC, and they have to be tested. If they're not tested, then that's considered a failed test. So, you know, if they go out the country, if they go hiking in the wilderness, they got to make sure that they let the brass and the UFC brass and also the testing company know where they are, because they have to be tested. Now, the only thing is, even though they are tested a lot, they still, you know, Dana White still makes concessions for certain people, like he did for Brock Lesnar. He was supposed to be retired or fighting back in the WWE. He came over. They needed a big name for a fight, and they gave him an exemption. And of course, he was full of dope, juice to the gills. And after the fight, of course, he tested, and his levels were like the levels of a fucking elephant. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. But yeah, the testing is extreme, but the shit don't matter when you got a dickhead like Dana White, who's Donald Trump's good friend, in control.
And that's why I refuse to spend money on Saturday's event. And I want to watch it. But since it's coming out of Dana White production, I'm like, fuck it. Unless it's a John Jones, I always put my money towards a John Jones fight, an Anderson Silva fight, and where Adesanya get up there, I'm going to put money towards his. But other than that, I'm really on some F Dana White shit. Don't like the Punk. I see right through all that hidden racist bullshit that involves him, all that shit. So I don't really fuck with that dude. And I really don't fuck with him based on how he, and now it's like a new thing. It's always an escalation of things with Dana White. I don't like the way he treats these fighters. I think it's BS that a lot of these fighters are doing more of this, speaking out about the money issue over there. Yeah. UFC's raking in all type of dough. And when they speak about a UFC production, they may pay out only 5 to 10% of the revenue pulled in towards those fighters, and they're raking in everything else. And because I always wonder, like, why did that company pay $4.5 billion for this damn company? I'm like, that company is not valued like that. But based on if they're able to pull in this percentage of money and only paying out this, that's a lucrative fucking business.
You're right.
But on the back end, you got these fighters trying to unionize to eliminate some of the powers that Dana White has over there. They want an Ali Act over there. Fighters want to look into the books and seeing what's coming in and seeing what's a fair compensation for what they're putting in there. And these fighters need sponsorships back. That Reebok deal screwed these damn fighters, where these fighters are living like on welfare over in the UFC.
What's the Reebok deal?
So Reebok, basically what happens is all of the guys that come in, they get a Reebok package, right? So the package means they get like 3 shirts, a sweater, a pair of shorts, a pair of pants, and a pair of Reebok shoes.
You be making shit up, dog.
Say it again?
You making shit up, right?
No, I'm not even fucking with you. They get a Reebok package. So them and whoever their two or three corner people are, they all get Reebok. They cannot have any sponsors. They can't wear anything that says anything. So, for example, if I'm going out there fighting and I got, barbershop conversations, Silent Hero, LDBC, you know what I'm saying, New Media, if I want to do that because y'all the ones that pay for my camp and my training and everything, I can't. Everything got to be Reebok. So fighters used to make, if they didn't make a lot of money with the UFC, at least they had sponsors to be able to pay for their training, for their food, for their supplements. But shit, what company's going to do that if they can't get no recognition, right? That's the purpose of sponsoring somebody, so you can get your name blasted everywhere. So these dudes get this fucking Reebok shit. And and then Reebok gives them if they win, then Reebok gives them a check. And the biggest check is, I believe, $10,000. So like say if it's the heavyweight champion and they fought and he wins, he can get up to $10,000 as a bonus. But every other person under that, the bonus is from anywhere from, I think it's $250 or $550. So you get some clothes and say you win a fight and you somebody on the undercard, you can get a fucking $500 check. It ain't shit. So these dudes are professional fighters and they still got jobs pumping gas and working at Walmart and you know what I mean? And yeah, this shit is just crazy. So yeah, Dana White is a piece of shit. And one of the reasons why he got Mighty Mouse out of there and moved Demetrius Johnson, because he was the first one that was talking about, and he was the pound for pound best fighter in the world. And he was talking about unionizing. And he was talking about fighter pay. And Dana was like, shit, before he stirred up something, let's get this guy out of here. So they traded for Ben Askren from ONE FC. So these fighters are walking around. If you look at, you can Google it. Look at average fighter pay in the UFC. And there was a time where dudes were getting paid like $1,500. It was a $3,000 purse. So it was 15 show and then 15 win. Imagine that. I kid you not. It changed like 3 years ago. Probably 3 years ago it changed. But these dudes are not getting paid shit. Dana White is worth, I believe, somewhere about $600 or $700 million.
No,
right? He's almost. Yeah, Dana White is almost a billionaire. He's worth more than $500 million. And this fat Uncle Fester looking motherfucker ain't stepped in a cage one time. And he's an arrogant, pompous,
Is he really?
greedy son of a bitch.
I don't keep up with it. This is great intel for me. I appreciate you. Wow.
Oh yeah, and then more into that deal too, DB. The fighters get paid on a fight tier, so a lot of their pay from the Reebok deal is based on how many fights they got. They may make somewhere like $1,000, but the issue that bothers a lot of these fighters is, so imagine you're a veteran fighter. You've been there for a long time. You going in here making lucrative money from sponsorships, and all of a sudden they roll this shit out, and now he's throwing you crumbs on the dollar for an event. And I think what was the Reebok deal at? Like, was that like $1 billion deal as well?
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, it was a massive deal these dudes got, but they out here crumbing people out checks based on the most veteran fighters are getting something like $25,000 for a fight based on the number of fights they had. And then also the people who benefited from the Reebok deal was his two little white projects was fucking, I think 3 of them. It was you already know it's Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor, and then
Sage Northcutt.
Sage Northcutt. Yep. He was trying to push this motherfucker down people's throats until he got in there and got his brains bashed. And I see all through the white, I call it the Dana White whitewashing projects, and that's all he was pushing. But he made sure he set up these white fighters, and he made sure he set these white fighters to be in financial, great financial positions. He set them up financially, like Ronda Rousey, putting the marketing machine behind her, building her up. Why isn't he doing this for other fighters? He didn't do this for Anderson Silva. He didn't do this for John Jones. He didn't do that for Mighty Mouse. Didn't put none of the marketing behind him like he did for Ronda Rousey. Same thing for Conor McGregor. They put the marketing machine behind these guys. Anyone else who defeats them, they pull away. Why didn't Nate Diaz become a huge marketing success for them? Because he doesn't fit the complexion. So they have the ability to build people into stars based on putting the marketing behind them.
It's been going on. I mean, even from the time that they had from GSP to Conor, from Ronda to Holly Holm, Kobe Covington, Stipe Miocic to right now, Brock Lesnar, Sage Northcutt. It's always they try to get the blonde hair, blue eye first. They go for the Hitler treatment first. And if they can't get a blonde hair, blue eye person to put on a pedestal, then they'll just take the white person, whoever it is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sickening. I'm sorry, Reggie, go ahead.
No, you was rolling.
Damn.
No, it truly is sickening. That's why I won't pay money for a UFC pay-per-view event, because I'm seeing this. It's almost as bad as what people see with the damn NFL. Dana White is on a different scale with this shit. But just like with the what he was doing to build a success for these guys, were these other veterans had put the UFC on their back, because they tried to pop the UFC when they had all these white guys going in there fucking what's that dude? The one Anderson Silva beat up both of the little pristine guys was building up, but Chuck Liddell. It was the other two, Stephen Bonner.
Forrest Griffin, Chael Sonnen.
Yeah, all these dudes, they were trying to build up. And it was at one point where Chuck Liddell, they try to build him as the baddest guy on the planet. He got the mohawk looking tough, knocking guys out. The reason why he able to do this shit is when the real MMA fighters are fighting over in Japan, none of these Brazilian and black folks was over at the UFC. It was just these white fighters they built up, and they'll fight lower tier fighters and mash through them and look all good, make the little rural cats feel proud about themselves, and white power, we're badasses and type shit. The minute when pride ended up folding and all those black and Brazilian fighters came over there, they put a shutdown on all that shit that Dana White was trying to build up. And it pissed Dana White off to see the fact that these Brazilian and black fighters rose so fast within the UFC, and that's where that marketing shit died off with this guy. Oh, and also what Hunter put in is some real true shit about that Reebok deal, what it did to Sean O'Malley. They made, like you said, 1.2 million off this guy. The guy only receives, and it wasn't fine. He said he received $3,000 out of the 1.2 they made off of him from that Reebok deal selling merchandise. And that's how fucked up shit is over at the UFC. So for me to spend a pay-per-view, I'd rather stream that shit. And I don't even stream things. But yeah, I'm gonna pass it over.
I didn't know this shit was going on. You know, I passively hear it, but I don't pay attention. You know what I mean? But God, they getting over like fat cats. They better unionize. Why don't they go on strike?
Well, you got to have the top guys that. I mean, you have to have all of the fighters in on it, right?
Yeah.
So when you got guys like Conor McGregor and Stipe Miocic and Brock Lesnar, GSP, those guys, when those dudes are making tons of money, and you got to realize too, the media is also going to soak up those dudes too. So they'll put them on ESPN and do interviews with them. These dudes will have commercials. So even if their fighter contracts are not big, they still have sponsors, so to speak. You know what I mean? So they're still making money.
So some of them
those guys don't give a shit about everybody else. Those guys are the top tier in terms of pay. So they don't give a shit about the mid-level guys, and especially the lower level guys. The only way they would is if they have several guys in their gym. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 of them are homeless, one living in his car. Another one is a good friend and he's not making no money. That's the only way they'll advocate for that. But otherwise, those dudes don't give 2 shits or 1 fuck about it, and they'll just keep making money. And yeah.
Wow.
So forget the strike. They need to leave the UFC and go fight for ONE FC, to go fight for Titan, to go fight for Rumble on the Rock, to go fight for SSA, MMA. Sure. You know what I'm saying? They need to leave and go fight for Bellator. There's plenty of other organizations they can fight for.
Sure.
But everybody's so stuck on fighting for the fucking UFC because that was was the premier name in mixed martial arts.
Sure.
These dudes got to go where the bag is at, and the bag is in Russia. The bag is in Brazil, in South Africa. I mean, there's a bag everywhere, but they want to be popular instead of making money.
Interesting. I learned something tonight.
Yeah. So anybody who ain't subscribed to me, as soon as I start dropping some videos at some point, it's gonna be MMA heavy. Just so you know, my shit is gonna be MMA heavy, black MMA like a motherfucker too, and a whole bunch of jujitsu. Picasso, oof.
I appreciate you educating me, you and Reg tonight.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
I always appreciate talking to y'all, man. It's a South Central connection.
We always focus on how corrupt and effed up boxing is, and we ignore what these black fighters over in the UFC are going through. And I'm like, I think that shit needs to be highlighted. And a lot of them don't have a voice. The media ain't gonna be a voice for these black fighters because the media's in on this shit. They marginalize the fuck out of black fighters.
We should try and get Tyron Woodley on the show.
He'll come on. And matter of fact, Tyron Woodley was a staunch, like a big time supporter of Clarissa Shields, more than what some of the fighters
really.
Tyron Woodley was fighting with her.
Yeah, big time.
Wow. And speaking of that, shout out to Austin Trout, man. He just put out a tweet. Instagram post telling people to go send stuff for Breonna Taylor. Yeah. Shit. Yeah. Let me go to Tyron Woodley. I don't even follow him. Tyron, Tyron, T Woodley. I used to follow him. Let's see. Yeah, he only got 31. Yeah, let's invite him on the show. I'm very interested. He'll talk about it, or he's secretive about it, or he's
no. He'll talk about it.
He will.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll talk about it.
All right.
He done been vocal about that.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my homework once he confirms. All right. So here's Tyron.
I'm gonna be on the phone, so shit. Don't even shit. I got this covered.
Oh, perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
Love you for that. Perfect. Perfect. Go invite.
I know his whole career from high school wrestling to college, from Strike Force to all that. Oh, yeah, I got that shit covered.
Thank you, dog. Thank you. See, it takes a community. I told you we a barbershop. All right, everyone, go invite Tyron Woodley on the show. All right, he only got 31 comments on his last post, so he'll see the 10 comments in a row that we'll post. Man, yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
it's crazy how people leave the dude once he has a loss. You know what I'm saying? The dude got 2 losses in his last 2 to 3 fights, and all of a sudden, you got no fan base no more. Conor McGregor goes out there, pompous, arrogant piece of shit dude with a big mouth. He goes out there, fights Khabib, and gets annihilated, and still got millions of fans all over the place. So that's why, you know what I'm saying, we in boxing and MMA and just in sports period, you know what I'm saying, like we still got to support our people. Like I said yesterday, If Stacks says something that's foul, man, we discipline him, and then, you know what I'm saying, but we still love him, you know, because he's not lost. He just needs some direction. I mean, he's not far gone, right? He's not lost. He's just straight away, maybe, you know. I didn't see the interview, but when you got somebody like Floyd Mayweather, ain't no bringing him back, you know. But yeah, man, we gotta still love on our people, man. You know what I'm saying? We let them know, hey, man, we don't fuck with you for doing this. Don't say that. You know, this was foul. You know, socially, politically, you know, in terms of religion, your people, like, this is what it's about, you know. And let them know, like, every night, man, you're gonna have, you know, 300, 400, 500 people. We're gonna see and know what you're doing. We're gonna talk about it.
Appreciate
you know,
you,
and we
Kyle.
don't want paying for your pay-per-views.
Facts. I just put a comment on this comment section.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Kyle. Kyle just did it too.
What up, Kyle?
Yeah.
My brother Kyle,
Yeah.
back in the game. Kyle dropping videos again.
Yeah. So yeah, that'd be great to have him on, and I would love for you to take the lead. Shit,
Hell
find
yeah.
a way to beam in. Find a way to beam in. Figure that shit out. And
so dope, man.
Yeah, that'll be dope because I like him. I like him from afar, like from what I know about him. You know, and yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. And he'll be able to hold a conversation. The dude's mind is sharp. He's intellectual enough. He's gonna speak about everything. Like even look at his interviews, he speaks about this shit with Dana White and how the UFC's been against him and against black fighters. But
really?
also, like,
I'm very interested in this now. I'm interested in this shit now. I appreciate you, Rose.
Yeah.
Appreciate
you. Yeah, he's got a series called Champ Camp, I believe, on YouTube. It's a series, and he's also a host on TMZ. So when it comes to like, you know, he has like a little 10-minute section of their 30-minute show. So he's on there. I don't watch TV, but I watch him all on YouTube. But yeah, he's on there, man. He knows how to articulate himself. He's also a commentator for the UFC, the same way like, you know, Keith and Sean and how Al Heyman has all those guys set up for jobs. So, you know, he's got a job working for, I believe it was for Fox and also UFC. So yeah, he commentates on it. He understands the sport very well. And, you know, like I said, he's been speaking his piece. So yeah, it'd be great to have him on.
And I want to say these last pieces about about how we need to support our fighters and wrap around them. And these fighters need to understand that we support them, win, lose, or draw. That's part of the fucking game. You win some, you lose some, you don't run out on them. But being with the you know, black MMA fans don't really speak up. I'm pretty sure there's a huge base of black MMA fans, but there needs to be a creation of platforms. I know we got Coach. Coach does like more of the women MMA, but we still got Coach. But to be more of a voice for these black MMA artists, because really it's like how Dana White fashioned it was a place for him kind of targeting an audience base that he built up on kind of in the strategic campaigning type plan to target this one base, American base, and you know, forgetting everyone else. But the domination is the typical domination in American sports by other people who really kind of, you know, pass you know, they pass the finish line before the white athletes get there, and that's what's happening within the sport. But where people speak and speak so negative about great black combatants, whether in boxing or mixed martial arts, there was always this thing about Floyd not being this. Any of the top level guys, they've always find a way to knock them. And at one point, Ronda Rousey can kick Floyd's ass. Floyd runs and all this. And I'll bring this point up about the Floyd running shit is because they do all this talking about running shit. But when I watched Conor McGregor in that second fight against Nate Diaz, I watched him get hit with a punch. That motherfucker literally turned around in that ring and ran away from Nate Diaz, and Nate Diaz pointed his finger at him and got to laughing. But none of them fans said a goddamn thing about Conor being a runner. They washed over that shit. Joe Rogan didn't even want to mention that shit. And it's like, and these are the same people talking about Mayweather had a running style. Like, but this is the BS side when it comes to allowing others to control the narrative. And that shit has to be ended. It has to stop. People have to be fearless and speak up on the real about shit. And then also going into the last thing I want to get on, I'm gonna open it up because I know other people want to call in now. But with the thing about the money being taken by Bob, Oscar, and all these dudes, to me, this really shows their ineffectiveness in the last few years of running sports or businesses. Is that they didn't pull in huge profits. They're probably barely breaking even on shit. And now they're having to pull out money to keep things running to where they're not having to lay people off, or who knows how big their work staff was. But to pull out money like this shows that they ran into some kind of financial issues. And one name left out of there was PBC. They ran a pretty effective operation. And that was just through growth, expansion, constantly running events. Floyd not giving fans what they want, finding he doesn't even really have nothing in his camp, so they weren't pulling in money. So now he has to pull out this money so he doesn't dip into his own personal fund. But it shows these dudes, if things ever get back to normal, which I think it's going to probably take 2 years before shit really normalized, some of these guys may not be here. And that's just the gist of how American business runs. Like, it's a vicious cycle out here in the business world. But that's all I got. I'm going to open it up and hear what other people talk. But damn, DB, that was some good shit right there, bro.
Yeah, you too, man. I appreciate you, Reg. You always bring the fire out, man. Hey, shout out to Eric Jenkins in the super chat. He said, just listening to DB, Reg, Fred in the barbershop in a real way. Good looking out on that super chat, champ.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. Damn.
And shit, y'all call in. I'm going to jump out so I can hear the other calls.
Oh.
Rashid Gooden. Call in, Rashid. My brother Rashid.
Yeah, I want it. Oh, shit. Damn.
Or Roos O. You know what I'm saying? These the MMA heads in here. I see them with some good questions.
Welcome to the show.
Hey, action you shall receive. What's up, DB? What's up, Fred? What's up, all y'all?
What's up, man?
Whatever. Is that Asia?
No.
Who? I can hear.
Rashid Gooden.
Rashid, what's up, man? Rashid, you in the 818, ain't you?
Yeah, 818.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm in the 818. Yep.
What city you in, though?
I'm over here in Reseda.
What's your address?
Oh, right on. Fred, like you off the 118 or the 405?
Do you get off at Victory or Roscoe, nigga?
Victory, man. Victory.
I know. Everybody get off at Victory, nigga. You make your way. You going to get the hose or you going home? Where you going? Yeah,
That's it. Yeah,
I'm feeling.
Hey, that mall not out. Y'all don't got the mall out there no more, right? The Northridge, did they tear that down?
Man, they I don't know if they shut down the Northridge, but you know, COVID, bro. Like no one's doing anything. You know what I mean?
Oh,
they keep reopen. Keep trying to reopen the Topanga Mall. That's one of the biggest malls over here. But bro, people don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Something for the Honeys. Shout out to Jay Cooley. Shout out to Kyle, Ross. How you say that? Roast. How you say this? ROOSEOH. How you say that?
Russo.
Russo.
Shout out to Russo, man. Thank you, dog. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's everyone who went to Tyron Woodley. Yeah, I would love to have him on, man. I would love to have you have this interview for sure. That'd be dope, man. You know what I mean? It'll be important.
Yeah. One quick thing about the Valley, too. One quick thing. So if anybody come out here to visit in SoCal and you're looking for a spot that you want to go to that's kind of chill, especially if you got a niece or a little cousin that's coming to visit some college campuses, go to CSUN. CSUN got them there. Trust me. Walk on that campus. If you don't get a handful of phone numbers, or that, like we used to say, a handful of phone numbers, it's your own fault. But they there.
That's facts. That's big facts. CSUN and UCLA, bro, all day.
Yeah, but I went to UCLA, so you know, once we done ran through the school, then we had to travel north, jump on the 405, and go up there and terrorize that school a little bit. The Matadors, I believe.
Yeah, the Matadors. You're right.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm either the 405, get off of Victory, or take the 101 and get off of Reseda. But DB, y'all talking my language with this MMA stuff, man. This is something I'm very passionate about. Because the fighters, in my opinion, are getting dogged out over there at the UFC, man. And it's been going on for years, man. It's been going on for years. Now, you said that Dana White was worth $500 million, okay? I saw a video that said he was worth $4 billion. I could be wrong. It was just the title of a video. I didn't look into
the company is worth $4.5 billion.
Okay.
But Dana doesn't own the UFC. He's only a partner. I think there's like 6 or 7 people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Running game.
I don't think he's a majority partner either. So, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't think he's a majority partner. So I believe he's part owner, but he's also the president. So he makes he has a salary. He has a salary as the president where he pays himself, obviously, but he also gets a cut of the business. So
Zuffa's the corporation? Is that owned by the Gracies? What's up with Zuffa? What do you know about Zuffa?
No, so Zuffa was the company. Zuffa was the Fertitta brothers. That was Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta, but they are the ones that sold the company to WEIMG Group.
Okay.
And so they have a board, and Dana's one of the chairs on the board.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they dogged out. I mean, I'm just going to piggyback on everything you guys said, because you guys touched on everything that pissed me off about the UFC for years now. So maybe something new will come up in this conversation. But they dogged John Jones. They ran him through the mud because he popped dirty for steroids and he did some blow and got caught. This is all facts. This happened, okay? But they cover up for Vitor Belfort. They cover up for, these other guys. They let them fight Vitor Belfort in like the first couple of UFC fights is bigger than Tyson. And then you see him later on and he looks like he's a lightweight. You know what I mean? So they've been protected fighters. They've been, underpaying the fighters. You're lucky if you get $1 million. Conor McGregor had to leave the UFC. He had to go fight Mayweather just to get a paycheck.
That's right.
Conor McGregor left the when did he do that?
He left the UFC. He fought Mayweather. Okay. He got about 50 to 100 mil for that. DB probably knows better than I do. But that was the only time he made money. He had to leave UFC to make money.
That's true. And now all of the fighters now, so every time you get a guy who wins a big fight, the first thing they're doing right now, they're calling out people. So you have Ryan Garcia, who supposedly are going back and forth with Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo was a 2-division, 135 and 125 and 135 double champ. And he retired from the UFC because of money, obviously. But immediately after Ryan Garcia's last fight, he called out Ryan Garcia. So, they've been going back and forth on social media and also supposedly working on a fight, But Tyron Woodley, he also called out, I think, Canelo at a point when he was the 170 champion, So, this is really happening. You know what I'm saying? These guys in the UFC are not making money, and they want to come over to fight a boxer, particularly a big name boxer, a named fighter, so they can secure a bag. Because Dana's not paying shit.
It's the only way. It's the only way. And that's why Nate Diaz was trying to, say something about it. And then what did Dana White do? He shut that shit down. You know what I mean? He shut that shit down. But he gave the opportunity to Conor McGregor. What is up with him and Conor and Ronda Rousey? He favors these particular fighters and then he dogs everybody else. He called Cyborg a man. You know what I mean? He said, "Oh, she looks like a man." I mean, and then Dana White, he used to hang out.
She looks like Vitor Belfort in the dress. Dana cold for that.
I got to play this song.
Yo, Dana White used to hang out at the Mayweather gym back in the day, right?
I heard he used to carry the bags and shit.
He was Floyd Mayweather's assistant.
Right. And, he's always had a mouth on him. You know what I'm saying? So he popped off on these guys and said some stuff. And they took him to the back of the gym and beat the living crap out of him. And now he has a condition where he loses his sense of stability, where he automatically goes into like a sense of almost like vertigo.
Who's
where
this?
Everything starts spinning. Dana White.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he's always had this mouth on him, like this disrespectful arrogant tone to him. You know what I mean? He's always been like that. You know what I mean? And I mean, I just don't like the guy, man. I mean, how is it you got 500 million? Maybe one of your fighters got $1 million for a fight. You know what I mean? You got to have a guy go over to boxing to make money. Now they're all calling out boxers, like you said, to make money. You know, it's just wrong, man. And when it comes to PEDs, when it comes to steroids and PEDs, they sweep it under the rug. Pride was big on sweeping it under the rug because in other countries like Japan and Brazil, it's legal over there. They don't have restrictions like we have here in the States. You know what I'm saying? So Pride, a lot of these guys that are fighting for Pride, they can get away with it. And then the UFC bought Pride. You know what I mean? And they kind of kept the same kind of status where they were just excusing it and letting it go and sweeping it under the rug. But for some reason, John Jones got the treatment. He got the business.
The shit end of the stick.
Go ahead.
Yep, no, I said John Jones got the shit end of the stick. He passed his PED test. Well, he failed, but it was, I mean, almost kind of like Magic Johnson with HIV. You know, just as a parallel. You know, he has it, but it's in his system so low that it cannot be detected, which is the same thing that happened with John Jones. So he tested from taking a Cialis, a dick pill. He took the pill, and obviously, you know, those companies are not. How do they say? They're not third party tested. So there's nobody that comes in and washes down all the machines. You know what I'm saying? And start from ground zero. So they still got shit all over those machines. So that, you know, if you fight in there, you got to be able to watch out for those supplements that you're taking. But anyhow, John Jones took this damn Cialis, and this shit was still in his system. And the world's going crazy. But then you take guys, you know, the Brock Lesnar's of the world, the George St. Pierre's of the world. George St. Pierre had a test that came back, and what did he do? He retired. He stayed away for a little while. You could look at him and watch how his belly was puffed up. He stayed away for about, I think it was 4 years, and then he came back, jumped right into title contention, and fought against Michael Bisping for the 185-pound title. You know, these dudes, they have the complexion for the protection. Fuck Dana White and fuck the UFC brass. You know, I just do this shit because I fight and I just love this shit. Pedro Munoz is my jiu-jitsu coach, and he was supposed to fight this past weekend. He got COVID. He was supposed to fight against Frankie Edgar. And, you know, I'm not going to put all his business out there, but man, it was a time where, you know what I'm saying, where coach was not doing too well. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't doing well financially, you know what I'm saying? As a professional fighter, as a jiu-jitsu world champion, and as a top 10 UFC fighter, like not doing well. That just don't make sense.
Right. Yeah, they get paid pennies, man. I studied under Alberto Crane over at Gracie Barra. You know what I mean?
Shit.
Yeah,
Alberto was there. How long ago were you there?
That was 4 years ago, bro. And I was only there for like 3 to 6 months. I was at the Hollywood spot, and then I moved up to like kind of teaching the kids a little bit because I was working in the at the Glendale spot. And I was at Hollywood, and then I was at
Encino
Canyon. Yeah, Encino. I was there too. I was at Encino too. JP was the teacher there, and then Alberto Crane. He taught in Burbank, but Alberto had some professional fights. But yeah, man, they're. So
by the way, just so you know, I bought that gym from them. I took over the gym for Alberto in Encino.
Oh, you bought that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have it anymore, but I got that gym, and I had the gym for about 3 years, and then I sold that gym and came down to Westwood, and then got my gym right here in front of UCLA on Westwood. But yeah, so I know. So Professor Matthew Polino is also my, one of my coaches too. So
you're a black belt?
Yeah. No, I'm a brown.
Dude, I'd love to train with you, man. I'm fat.
Yeah, man. Come through, man. Please do.
Oh man, you a good man. You guys y'all get me through, man. Y'all get me through because I watch like mainstream stuff, and I think sometimes am I going crazy? And then I tune into y'all, and I'm like, okay, no, I'm not going crazy. You know, other people see the same shit I see. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Man, the UFC is a Ponzi scheme, man. It's a pyramid scheme. You feel me? It's indentured servitude. You feel me? It's that they pay him. You feel
Where's
me?
your gym at so people can know, DB? What street your gym on?
On Westwood, right in front of UCLA, between Santa Monica and Wilshire.
What is it in front of?
It says Krav Maga 360.
It's on West Street? On Westwood?
On Westwood, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fred, this shit is, and Tyrone's a real one too, man. He's the one that put all this shit on blast as far as like speaking out against the treatment that he was getting, because I never understood why Tyrone got so much hate. You know what I'm saying? His wrestling's good. He's got a good right hand. He was knocking people out with his right hand. You know what I'm saying? They try to say that one kid, the gorilla or whatever, the British kid, they're like, oh, he's gonna beat him. He's gonna beat. What's that dude's name, DB? I forget.
Darren Till.
Darren Till, thank you. Darren Till. They're like, oh, Darren Till, he's gonna beat him, this and that. You know, Woodley walked him down, out wrestled him. You know what I mean? Got him out of there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he gets a lot of hate, man. He gets a lot of hate, and I don't know why. Usman, I'm not a big fan of. You know what I'm saying? But he's got some skills. I'm glad he punched Kobe Covington in the jaw and broke his jaw and shut him up.
That's right. I mean?
You know, I was happy when Masvidal shut up that Askren kid. I didn't know he was a supporter of Trump. I'm gonna go look that up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, there's just a lot of funny shit going on in the UFC, man. It's all on some backdoor. A lot of stuff, unfortunately, that exists in boxing, except the fighters don't make money. So it's the same kind of shenanigans, but they rob the fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like that Reebok deal, man. That Reebok deal. I forgot who talked about it, DB, in the beginning, who exposed it. But that's probably one of the worst.
That was Reggie. You know the call, or you mean in the UFC?
One of the fighters.
That was Demetrius Johnson.
Okay. Demetrius Johnson. Okay, yeah. So that deal was a horrible deal, man. They were able to have the logos of any company they want, any gym, any brand. Tap Out, right? Tap Out's a big brand. Affliction's a big brand in mixed martial arts. They were able to have all these brands, no problem. Multiple different brands. It's how they got paid, because the UFC isn't paying their fighters like that. They're just not, bro. They're just not. So they come in with this Reebok deal, saying you have to get rid of all your logos. You can't have any of the sponsors, and you only get $10,000. I mean, it's just, where is the legislation? We were talking about this last time in regard to Wilder. We need legislation for these UFC fighters, man, for these MMA fighters, or else they're gonna keep getting robbed.
Wow.
Yeah. So to your point right there, what Reggie just said, he said it's this aspect of the UFC and Dana White's power over fighters. He's the president, the sanctioning body, the ranking manager, the matchmaker, their master, their daddy, their promoter, and their manager. A little ad-libbing.
He's everything.
Exactly, Reggie.
He's their agent.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. And Joe Rogan. Look, man, I'm gonna go in on Joe Rogan, man. Joe Rogan's a clown, man.
Is he really?
Joe Rogan's he's a clown.
I don't follow him at all.
He says low-key racist shit on his show. He only has Republicans on there. He says Democrats don't want to debate Republicans. He has Steven Crowders and Jordan Peterson and all these, crazy fascist people on his show. He has Candace Owens and all these people on his show. But when he brings a Democrat on, it's some super liberal idiot that he brings on. You know what I mean? That says some dumb shit like, you're not born any sex. He had some Democrat show up and say some stupid shit. I can't stand Joe Rogan, man. He's a clown. He flip-flops. He disrespected his own martial arts that he studies. He disrespected Taekwondo because it wasn't popular. And then once people started knocking people out hardcore with Taekwondo, then he wants to change his statements. I can't stand Joe Rogan, dude. He's a clown. He's a disinformation agent. You know what I mean? Really, though. I can't stand the guy.
Yep. And because he was one of the first commentators, people have a familiar voice. And then they also knew him from being the host of Fear Factor. Yeah. So he was a familiar voice. So they hear the things that he says, and because he comes from, his Taekwondo master, and also he comes from Eddie Bravo, who's a Jiu-Jitsu world champion, You know, he's got some validity to some of the things that he says. You know, and along with being a familiar voice, so people take the things that he says as gospel. You know what I mean? Because they don't know the sport. So when they come in as a casual fan or a novice or just a beginner, right? They hear Joe Rogan say things, and that's what they run with. And like you said, he's got this crazy conservative agenda, and you know, he pumps up guys like Colby Covington and shit like that. You know, he pretends he walks the line. He pretends like he's a liberal, but he's definitely a Republican. And let me say this, he's a liberal Republican. How about that?
I'll take it, because nowadays there's some people on the other side that they're not really on our side. You know what I mean? And that is true. But we got to be careful. And I don't want to get too much into politics, but we got to be careful. You know what I mean? Just when you vote for what you think would be better for all of us as Americans. That's all I'm going to say. Because I don't want to sit here and preach and say, vote for Joe Biden, vote for Joe Biden. I'm going to vote for Joe Biden because I feel that's the best choice for my people and for this country. Okay? That's just my personal decision based on what's going on with COVID, based on the lack of responsibility that I feel is coming from this current president. They said when Hillary ran against him, they said, give Trump a chance. He's going to pivot and all this stuff. Where he's pivoted to is an area in which I feel is making people march out there and call out his bullshit and tear down the statues because people are tired of being oppressed. And that's just my opinion. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Philip H. Philip H. I'm going to take a nap. This MMA talk too much for you, brother?
Philip H. is wild.
We got E in the building. Go ahead, E.
Champion, brother E in the building.
What it do?
DB, what's going on, brother?
Feeling good, family.
Man, I didn't man, I've been working a lot, man. I'm trying to get out of these trucks. I've been missing a lot of good shows, man. I'm getting ready to get into a mentorship under a brother that has a freight broker company, so that I can start brokering freight. So I got to get out of these trucks, man. I'm too old for this shit.
Too old for this shit.
You know, but I didn't know you all were talking MMA tonight, man. I had looked at the thumbnail, but it didn't say anything about MMA, you know, because I usually listen.
Fred is very liberal, man. He, you know, we talk about something and Fred don't censor shit. So whenever we start talking about something and they got some fire under his shit, we gonna cook it.
Hey, make sure you tell Reggie I'm a liberal. Tell Reggie again I'm a liberal. Tell him again.
I didn't say you are a liberal. He's very liberal.
Yeah.
Hey, Reg.
Well, I want to speak on MMA, man. Like I said, I know you all were talking about it, but it's I'm surprised, Fred. You don't know that Dana knows
shit about MMA, man. I don't even watch it on ESPN. I changed the channel. Now it's a Saturday night, but, you know, I don't. Not unless it's like Tyron Woodley but I don't get into the politics of it at all. I
mean, I love it, man. Martial arts is my first love. I love boxing, but I didn't really get into boxing until I moved to Vegas. You know, I live it because when I moved to Vegas, you know, I had a martial arts background, and I started boxing once when I was living in Vegas. You know, that's how I began to meet a lot of fighters. I had the opportunity to train with Roger Mayweather, and right after his career. You know, it was wonderful training with him. You know, I'm very familiar with the style that Floyd does, and I know how frustrating it is because I experienced it working with Roger. And but I actually got in trouble because he would always get on me about kicking the bags in the gym. You know, so I ended up moving when I moved to Vegas. You know, is when I started actually kickboxing.
What discipline you practice, he asked?
Huh?
What discipline?
Say it again.
What martial arts were you taking?
Oh, when I was living in Chicago, I took Wing Chun, Chirakuan Kung Fu, and
Chow Mein with heavy A.
With peanut.
but yeah, man, I love MMA. You know, it's a shame how Dana does his fighters. You know, you had this is nothing new. I mean, you can go all the way back to Chuck Liddell and what's the other cat?
Chuck Norris.
The other cat that Chuck fought. Oh man,
Randy Couture.
No, not Randy Couture. Young cat, man. He was married to the porno chick.
Tito Ortiz.
Yeah. Tito Ortiz. You know, and these were key guys, man, and they was making BS. You know, and this has been happening for years. You know, this is why John Jones walked away. You know, I mean, you know, just not because of the him testing dirty and everything, but they wasn't paying John Jones the way they should have. And you know, and John Jones, man, is one of the best heavyweights to ever fight. You know, in light heavyweights to ever fight in MMA. You know, not going back to Anderson the Spider Silva, who was one of the best, and he should have had the kind of marketing behind him that Reggie Owens was saying that Ronda Rousey had behind her.
Right.
You know.
Right.
You still fighting?
No, man. I train my daughters, and I still train people, but no, man. Once Father Time get on you, your reflexes aren't as fast as they are. I was trying to spar with some young cat probably about a year ago, man, and I was like, how did this dude just hit me 3 times before I could hit him once? I couldn't believe how fast his kid was, But I still work out and stay up on my on my skills as best I can, just in case one of these young Thundercats want to try and push up. But
man, when you come out here, man, you got to come down here and fuck with me, man. Come to the gym.
Yeah, most definitely. You in LA?
Yeah, I'm in LA.
Oh, okay, yeah, most definitely, man. My daughter, she was just here. She just went back, so I'll definitely be getting that way to check you out, man. Because I got to get to Vegas and see family, and I'm gonna check out Reggie Owens when I get there as well. But yeah, that's definitely a must when I come that way, man.
Yeah, when you're going out to Vegas, I'm gonna be out there actually twice. Once at the end of July, and also in August.
Really? Yeah, I'm trying to get out there around that time, man. I'm gonna have to email you or something, man, so you can get my information, so we can definitely connect.
Okay. Yeah,
absolutely. Real quick. You know what was crazy to me was that Brock Lesnar had 4 fights. 2 of them in which, and correct me if I'm wrong, DB, 2 of them in which he fought Frank Mir.
Yep.
And after that, you get a title shot for the heavyweight championship.
Yeah. Well, one thing about MMA is they don't go by whose record is this and that. They basically go by what the fans want. That's one thing that despite all the other BS with MMA, that's one thing that I like about it is that they put the fights on that the fans actually want to see.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dana's a dictator, but yeah, Brock Lesnar, right. he got his shots, but when he got in there with Alistair Overeem, Alistair kicked his guts out of his body, and when he got in there with Cain Velasquez had to do the 360, he had dancing like a ballerina in the ring. Brock Lesnar,
right. When they put they was trying to feed Tyrone Woodley to Robbie Lawler, and Tyrone really upset. That's what put him on the map. They were trying to feed him to Robbie Lawler. What's that?
And that's why the Woodley hate. That's why I don't get the Woodley hate, because he proved himself in that. You know what I'm saying? So it just doesn't make sense to me. And then you got Brock Lesnar, only 4 fights. He fights for the championship, pops dirty for steroids, leaves, pops dirty again. I mean, it's just, and then you sweep it under the rug. You're not supposed to be Pride anymore. This is not the Pride days where you can get away with anything. You're supposed to be a new organization, or you're supposed to be the organization. You're supposed to set the standard. You're supposed to set the bar. Okay? But now your fighters our topic for steroids like it's Pride Days. And I don't get that.
Yeah, well, Dana, he bought all the competition out. He bought out was it WWE, and he bought out Pride, and was a few other ones that he bought out, to where he would basically be the monopoly and of MMA.
Yeah, he bought out Strike Force and Pride, and those are the
right.
What was the other one? WC something?
It was WWE or something like that.
So WEC was basically starting to merge with Strike Force.
With Strike Force, right?
Yeah, and so they absorbed those two there, and then there was a smaller company that was called Affliction, and Affliction was basically absorbed by or purchased by Pride. So when they purchased two companies, they basically got four.
Yeah, Uriah Faber was, I could be wrong here. I remember he was a champion, I think, at WEC, Uriah Faber. So was my man that jumps around the ring a lot. Dominic was a champion.
You talking about what's his name?
Uriah Faber was a champion, but he fought Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo kicked his leg off, and Jose was the champion when the WEC was absorbed by the UFC. So when the UFC started the 145-pound division, Jose Aldo was the first champion of that division.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, that's and so they absorb these companies. It makes sense for a champion to fight a champion, but to me, I can never get over the 4-fight win streak, or maybe even if it was 5 fights or 6, I couldn't get over that win streak propelling him over to be the heavyweight champion. That never sat right with me. It never sat right with me that Brock Lesnar fought for the heavyweight championship so fast.
Yeah, that's like.
Yeah, bro. Seriously.
Dave Jack, I see you. Yeah, Anderson Silva is, not arguably, Anderson Silva is the GOAT. And John Jones, about 2 or 3 more wins of big names, John Jones will pass Anderson Silva to become the GOAT. So how Kobe had to pass Michael Jordan, John Jones got to pass Anderson Silva.
Yeah, he's almost there. He's not there yet.
Yeah.
It was a great spot.
John Jones, he walked away from MMA, didn't he? He's not fighting for UFC anymore.
He's basically trying to get some more money right now too, as is Masvidal and about 3 or 4 other fighters, fighting for fighting for better compensation.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, damn man, we're going to have to cut it short because my phone is gonna die and my damn charger ain't working. But man,
I just want to come in and speak about much respect to you, brothers.
12:30 or something. I could charge this bad boy up and get right back on it. What you saying, Reggie?
Thanks for the knowledge, DB. Really.
Oh man, ain't nothing for me to talk about this, man. For real.
Yeah, we got to hook up with DB for sure, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop my email in the chat right now.
Okay. All right. I'll screenshot it. Then I'll have it.
Right. Hey, Fred, real quick, Fred. I wanted to ask you. Yeah. Because you put this in the limelight, brother. What do you think about? And I missed the beginning of the show, so excuse me. What do you think about this Floyd Bob Arum applying for this money? What do you think about that?
Well, technically they can, because because if they're filing under an LLC, they can. I just hope that they use the money, kind of like Mayweather Promotions. They haven't had any fights, right? Nor has Golden Boy. So I hope they use the money to subsidize their fighters, and subsidize their employees. I'm uncertain if they get 1099 or W-2s if you sign with them, or if you're the opponent. I'm uncertain of that. Do they both get 1099s? I don't know, but I just hope and pray that they're able to subsidize that their employees are getting checks, and because you already know Floyd is going to talk about his private jets and all that. I just hope that there's some. So I just hope that.
So there's the boxers are independent contractors. You're not sure.
I'm not sure if they're signed. If they signed with them, do they get W-2s? Because they have payroll tax. So I think maybe they can get benefits from that. So I don't know that. I don't know how they do it when you're signed to the promotion company, but I can ask them.
That's a great question. But paralleling that with the MMA is an organization that's ran like a company. To the best of my knowledge, boxers have more freedom. They're more like independent. They're more like business owners of their own entity.
Yeah, based off this conversation, I would agree for sure. Like I'm a super novice at MMA. I just watch it when Tyron Woodley and like Conor McGregor or Silva and John Jones is fighting. Honestly.
Well, I mean, it got popular because the Gracies back in the day wanted to prove what was the best fighting style. You know what I mean? And my father, he's a black belt in Japanese jiu-jitsu and Aikido. So I always had this passion and this love for martial arts. You know what I mean? And when I saw the Gracies fight, that was similar to my dad's fighting style. So I was rooting for them because my dad was a jiu-jitsu guy. You know what I mean? And I always felt like grappling, because I was biased, I always felt like grappling and jiu-jitsu was the better art because that was the art that I happened to respond to. You know what I mean? But they went up there and did the whole mix for who had the best fighting style. They went up against boxers. They went up against 300-pound guys, and twice the Gracies came on top, and that's what propelled MMA. Because the third time it was a kickboxer, I believe, who won, or a Muay Thai guy. DB could probably tell you better. And then after that, it kind of just morphed into this whole thing where they started wearing gloves, pads, and wrestlers started to show up more, and it kind of morphed into what we know as mixed martial arts.
Well, once the Gracies came in, they were really exposing a lot of the stand-up arts. But their problem was they didn't address their weaknesses, although they were able to expose a lot of weaknesses on the stand-up arts. Once everybody was able to address their weaknesses, the Gracies didn't address theirs, and they started losing because a lot of these stand-up artists were able to keep the standard, and their weaknesses was in their stand-up game.
Right. Once takedown defense became kind of the standard, that's when we started to see, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu have some problems.
Right.
Yep. Somebody asked about Bellator being owned by the UFC. Bellator is owned by Fight TV, which I think the parent company is Viacom. And that deal was bigger than the UFC deal because Viacom is worth, I believe, like somewhere between like 12, probably like 15 billion, something like that. And Viacom bought Bellator MMA, I don't know, somewhere about 10 years ago. So it was probably between like 2008 to like 2012, but somewhere in there. But the cool thing about Bellator is these guys, they get their fighter pay. They're usually paid more than the UFC fighters, especially the premier fighters, and they also get a chance to have sponsors. So for all of these fighters who are fighting to stay with the UFC, these dudes have to go to promotions like Bellator and like ONE FC if they want to get paid more and not be a part of a slave contract.
No, you got static, Kyle, so you got to mute when they talk.
You know what, though? But here's the problem, though, is that the UFC has dominated this industry. You know what I'm saying? And as much as Bellator has been around, I mean, the people have already chosen who they're going to watch. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that it's up to the people. When the people hear about shady shit going on and PEDs and all this stuff, the people got to stand up. When the people hear about Wilder getting cheated and, getting punched with a fucking foreign object or with a bare knuckle because of some falsy ass gloves, the people got to get together and say, we're not going to stand for this shit. You know what I'm saying? You know? So I don't know if the UFC will ever lose its spot as being one of the top mixed martial arts companies. I mean, one championship is close, but I don't know, brother.
Yeah, these fighters got to start making decisions. You know what I mean? Like they have to make decisions to start. Otherwise, if these guys keep fighting to stay with a company like this, then they'll be able to monopolize the game. So these guys have to spread the talent. So if guys like Nate Diaz and John Jones, Demetrius Johnson, Jorge Masvidal, even the Conor McGregor, who was complaining about his pay, one in the stake and one in ownership in the company. If these guys decided, just 5 or 6 big names decided to go to a company like Bellator, UFC, it's going to be tough for them. What Reggie said, the UFC has brand loyalty. Yeah, but it's going to fall apart. Yeah, they got brand loyalty right now with not just with the fighters though, Reggie, but also with the fan base. You know, you got a lot of Midwestern and Northern states who are big time UFC fans. The UFC fans are dudes that are in from Nebraska, Oklahoma, Idaho, you know, Montana. Those people are all those big time UFC fans.
Yeah, that's very true. I trained with a guy in Oklahoma.
Hey, Kyle, get off, Kyle.
What's that?
No, Kyle wanted to get off. Go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Kyle.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
Oh, now you can. Go ahead.
Hey, I'm gonna call off and then I'm gonna come back on my camera.
Can't hear you.
We can hear you now, though, Kyle.
I couldn't hear him.
I heard him say he was going to call in, but I can't hear him now.
Yeah, I think he hung up and said he was going to call back. Real Rap finally done made it. Woke up from his nap. What up, Real Rap?
Real Rap in the house.
Yeah, shout out, Ant. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Ant in the chat today, but shout out Ant. That's my guy. You know, DB, my guy. Fred, I love Fred, man. You know, you guys already know I fuck with all y'all. You already know.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you, man. Like Fred always say, man, we're not just a barbershop community, you know, and that's what this is all about.
I just can't wait for this COVID shit to be over. That way we could do this powwow. It'd be good.
Yeah. Fred, you said you had something confirmed for July, I believe, 26th?
I can't do it because I think the city's going to be shut down, so I'm not even going to try and plan it.
Okay. I mean, we could do a little local joint, you know what I mean?
Oh, you can do,
Jarvis,
we can do
Donald
something
Simpson,
like that, for sure.
You know?
Yeah, for sure, we can do
Rashid.
something like that. Sure.
I'll bring a mat on trip.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we could do Patty, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could do a local, Jeffrey Lakes, you know what I'm saying? Box fans gonna come home and see his folks, you know? E gonna come down here and visit his people. Man, we can get about 15, 20, probably 30 people. Social distancing. Everybody wear a mask and gloves.
Barbecue. Do a barbecue. Barbershop barbecue.
Mm-hmm. Barbershop.
No gloves.
Barbecue. All veggies.
Gloves help spread the virus more than anything. So no gloves.
Oh, I hear you now, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
What's going on, DB, man? Appreciate you showing all that love, man.
Oh, always, man. I gotta support my people.
Hey, I got an interview I'm about to drop, man. A couple days. It's I got Keith, the bounty hunter.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. So I got him. I had him on today. So I'm
the heavyweight.
Nah, he's like 140. His brother is a heavyweight though. I'm gonna get him on too. Hey, Fred, your boy Tyson Fury, man. I was trying to holler at you a minute ago about them gloves though.
He what?
Yeah, that picture I sent you.
Yeah, a couple last week.
No, did you see the other one I sent you though? Not the one you posted. The other one. Where he like his glove was a horseshoe.
You gotta resend it.
All right, I got you.
Hey, did you ever get the packaging of the gloves showing up? The video that they said that was pre-fight. Did anyone ever send you that? Or not yet?
No one sent it to me.
Okay.
I looked for it online. I couldn't find it.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Getty images, they're selling them for $500 a pop on the website. I mean, the gloves got an indentation. You know what I'm saying? The gloves indented. Okay, we got to stop playing games. WBC's not going to investigate a damn thing. They're damn near in with the funky shit. You know what I'm saying? We need an independent investigation. You know what I mean? Wilder's got to whoop Fury's ass, talk a bunch of shit. You know, because they're just not gonna. They're not gonna they're like reveling in this shit. Like they love this shit. Like they love the deception. They love the deviancy. It's driving me crazy, y'all. You know, I mean, we got a Jack Johnson type fighter, and they're just playing him. Go ahead, yo.
Yeah, he checked out again.
Yeah, I agree with what Reggie's saying. They know, but they're not gonna address it.
Mm-mm.
You know, and that's sad.
Yeah, they can't fuck up that $30 million.
Right. Exactly.
You know, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do a damn thing. I mean, and you know, the glove, the picture, Fred, of the glove on the table. I mean, the gloves look
old in the motherfucker, don't they?
Yeah.
Hell.
They look tore up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Tore up. You know, you're just showing all these independent pictures that's clearly showing what's going on. You know what I mean? So, you know, what some people in camp says, you know, has me hopeful. You know, I can't wait till Wilder starts just speaking on this stuff, but you know, they're just going to keep on assassinating his character, you know, and they're on, you know, I'm almost like they're down with this stuff. Like they're involved with it. Fox and, you know, I don't want to go too into that though, but Fox and ESPN, it seems like they're down with it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I agree. No, you're right. I think so as well.
You know, because what else explains their behavior? If you're covering up what's going on, you don't even want to look into it.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you approach something, you got an excuse. It seems like you're a part of the cover up.
Yep.
You know? And it's just, you know, I mean, look, man, Tyson Fury, who did Tyson Fury fight? Who did he fight? You know what I'm saying? Who did he fight?
Good point.
You know what I mean? Otto Wilder almost took his head off. You know what I mean? So the dude's a bum, man. He's a coked out, washed up bum. You know what I mean? He knows he's on his way out. His father got locked up or banned from the country because he eye gouged somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's cut the shit, you know? Like when you dig into this stuff and you actually do research and you understand the pattern of behavior, okay? Gypsies have a history of cheating people. It's what they do. I used to stay down the street from a family of gypsies, and I was cool with them. They were hilarious, but they didn't shower. Okay, they were stinky. All right, their nails were always dirty. They were always on some dirty shit. And one time, because it was like a big ass family, right? And I never saw the mother. I only saw the father and his like 7 kids. You feel me? And I was cool with 2 of the kids. One day, the father just runs past me, and this guy jumps out of a taxi. He's like, "Hey, stop that guy! Stop that guy!" Like, that's what they do. You know what I mean? And then you got MTK Global, who's Conor McGregor's promotional company, along with Tyson Fury. You do some investigation and find out one of them's the head guy is in Dubai somewhere hiding out. Okay, these guys, I said this last time, Fred, these guys did a shootout at a weigh-in. It's on tape. Focus Balls has this guy named Sean. I forget what his last name is. His whole channel is based on MTK Global.
Wow.
And their whole get down. And one thing I'll never forget in the video, the media is involved with MTK Global. The media in Ireland looks up to these guys. Okay, they don't expose them as being the mob. They look up to them and they cover for them. And I just can't help but make the correlation between that and what's going on here with Wilder. You know what I mean? Against Wilder. You know, so I just don't think we should expect justice. I think what we're doing is the right thing. We riding with Wilder. It's going to be one of those things. Like my dad used to always give me knowledge about our people. He told me about Elijah McCoy, a real famous black inventor that I'm going to talk about on my channel later on. But we have to get culture from our elders and from our community. We can never expect, you know, it's like the first time I heard about the JFK assassination was from my dad. And my dad told me, he was like, hey, look, they killed him. The only way you get the truth is from the community. The only way you find out what's really going on is from your elders. So unfortunately, this might be one of those things that we pass down to our generation and let them know, look, what they did to Wilder, they robbed him. Let it be known that he's undefeated. And the only way they could try to beat him is by having a metal object or cheating or pulling some funny shit with the gloves or whatever the fuck they did. That's the only way they could do it.
I agree.
You know? You know?
So over there, they treated the gypsies kind of like America treats black folks. Over here, they get treatment like, like white folks here in America. I thought over there they get treated like black folks get treated here. Is that right, or am I wrong in that?
That is right. They get treated like they're travelers. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
First, stole their culture from India. Okay, the original gypsies are Indian. You know what I mean? Or Punjabi, or a separate culture, but they're from that area. They came over, and even though they don't believe in interracial marriage, they came over to Ireland and shared their culture. Okay, and that's how you have the Irish gypsies, because the original gypsies shared their culture. Okay, with the Irish gypsies. All right.
Okay.
And like the movie Snatch, they pull a lick and then they all split up. You know what I mean? It's just, it's what they do. Unfortunately, it's how they get down. And they did boo Wilder. When you go back and you see D Smoke start to rap, they started booing. So how is that an American bronze medalist, a bronze medalist, get shitted on? Okay, but you want me to go and look at this cokehead and call him Muhammad Ali? Get the fuck out of here with that shit, man. Get out of here with that shit.
Right.
I'm not doing it, bro. I'm not doing it. They almost pulled one off. They almost got me. If I didn't do my research, I didn't know what time it was. Because I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all. I fell out of boxing for a little bit. My era was Floyd Mayweather, Diego Corrales, Vargas, Tyson, Holyfield, Lewis. When Lewis knocked out Rockman, that was my shit. You know what I'm saying? And who stayed from the era was Floyd. And he went from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? And look, I'm all about success. I'm all about that. Fred, you were talking about gold and silver. I used to sell gold and silver, so I'm all about that shit. You know what I mean? But there comes a time where integrity is above everything, in my opinion. You feel me? And Mayweather's done too many questionable things that fuck up his integrity, that makes brothers and sisters look at him like, yo, what the fuck? You're a billionaire. You're supposed to represent us, and you're doing this funny stuff. You know what I mean? And so I think we have to look up. I think we have to look carefully at the rich people that we look up to, and not just set the barometer to, okay, you got money, so automatically you're good in my book. We got to change all that. It's got to be you got money, but you have some kind of moral foundation.
Right.
And if we're gonna have a conversation about, like Chris Rock said, great wealth comes from a great crime. If we're gonna have that conversation, fine, let's have that conversation. But let's not say that the only way you can make it is through a criminal act. Because if we're promoting American society as strictly being a criminal enterprise, we have a problem. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's facts.
You know what I mean? So, this is just, look, man, they got caught, man. Fred caught him. I'll say it again. Toronto Peace Moray caught him. Dante's Boxing Nation caught him. Young Pharaoh went in on him.
Yeah, Pharaoh went in heavy.
Ego, they all went in. It's all out there. You know what I'm saying? Like we joke about a lot of times. Who you gonna believe, them or your lying eyes? You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
They got caught. And what Wilder should do, he should sue and ask for restitution, because if if they did what they did, which we all know that they did what they did, you take the evidence and you bring it to a court. It's a violation of the contract. It's a violation of the contract. Okay? We know about Resto. We know about my Puerto Rican brother, Cotto. We know the history. We know it's possible. So don't give me this argument about, oh, how they do this, the boxing commission. Tyson Fury hung the boxing commission out to dry. Just about 4 days ago, he said, well, the boxing commission must have been involved. He's over here dry snitching on everybody. JD must have been involved, and the boxing commission must have been involved. That's what y'all get for siding with that dude and working with that dude. He's on some dry snitching type shit where he does the crime and then leaves your ass behind.
Yeah, that's fine.
I get turned up on this issue, guys, because it's just some dirty ass shit, man. I mean, you know, come at us with the real shit. Look, you come at me, you whoop me. But if you pulling some brass knuckles or some baton out of nowhere, or, you know, 5 of you jump me, how's that a fair one? You know what I'm saying? You got some shit on you. We're fighting MMA. You got some shit under your glove, or you got a metal rod in your toe, or I don't know what the fuck. But, you know, I want to know. You're on steroids. I want to know. Then I can make a decision on whether or not I'm gonna fight you. But you shouldn't even be allowed to fight anyway. Can we get some clean fighters, y'all? Can we have clean fighters? I want to know who's really elite, not who's on some stuff, not who's got someone's daughter kidnapped and you better not beat me or else your daughter. You know, I don't want that. I want real fights. I want to know who's really the best. You know, I don't doubt Julius Jackson. When I look back at Julian Jackson's history, I don't doubt any of those knockouts. That's what I want. I want to look back in the histories of time and be like, man, can you believe Jack Johnson? Can you believe Tyson? You know what I mean? Can you believe Lewis? Can you believe Holyfield? Can you believe all this stuff? And look back and marvel at the athleticism of my American people, of my brothers. That's what I want. I want clean fighters. You know, why don't all y'all dirty motherfuckers, y'all start your own league on the side. Y'all could do the most steroids. You could show up, you know, bigger than 2 fucking freight trucks that the homie drives. You could do whatever. You know what I mean? But let's get some clean fighters, y'all. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah. Go ahead, Fred.
No, I was gonna say, let's wrap this shit up.
All right, my brother. I feel you.
Go ahead, finish your statement. Go ahead.
No, I'm done, bro. It's your hey, I'm just,
Go ahead,
I'm in the back seat.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I thought that Holyfield, you know, he's speaking of clean boxers. I thought Holyfield had some of the best conditioning as a fighter. That fight where Burt Cooper had him gone, and he came back. You know, that was epic. You know, and that was just due to his conditioning. You know, but that's it. We can go ahead and close it out.
I appreciate y'all, man. This was we made a left and we made a right. We finally found our destination. I appreciate y'all for coming in. Thank you, E.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Inbox DB's information, man, so you can get at it.
Say it again.
I said inbox DB's information.
Yeah, okay, for sure.
Okay, so I can get at it, man. And I'll get with you later.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, brother. Peace and love.
All right, later.
DB's phone died, so somebody tell me, play the song, Fred. DB charging his phone so he can get the Reggie Owens. Reggie Owens we're going over to Reggie Owens. Yeah. Unique Don, you stayed up. Oh shit. Unique Don. Oh, you made it, huh? I said my Speedy Gonzalez. Thank you, Hustler Slim. Phil. Nah, we out of here, real rap. I thought your phone died. Can you hear me, D? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Nah, I can't hear you. Your phone, something wrong with your phone. Whatever you're saying, nigga, you can tell me Sunday. Shit, Phil, CMB, Real Rap. What's up, people? Hernandez, G Brown, man. I appreciate y'all. What's up? Your phone ain't coming. I don't know why your phone ain't coming in.
You can't hear me?
Now I can, because the devil is a lie. Hey. Telling you the truth. Hey. It's all in what you do. Hey. Some things you gotta do. Hey, hey, hey. You're right, Phil. That's a classic. Hey. Appreciate you, Rashid. Thanks for coming in, big homie. Hey. Real Rap, appreciate you. People Hernandez, you stayed in here, huh, peoples? CMB, G Brown, everybody, Lavelle, Jarvis, that third shift, man. Shout out to Brandon as well and everyone else, man. Appreciate you, Reggie Owens. No backing down. 3 hours and 22 minutes, man. We done had the longest shows this week. All week, dog. We had a 4-hour show the other day. Be a blessing. Sam A, what's up? My personal statement. There you go, Rob. Greatest share. Bobbing and weaving. I'm trying to figure out how to motherfucking unsubscribe to my ESPN Plus account. Damn. So we gotta give back, give love. That was a good show. Appreciate you, DB.
Oh, appreciate you.
It was fun. Yeah, if Tyron Woodley come in, man, you doing that show, dog.
Absolutely.
All right, for sure. That'll be great. Last time, y'all. Because the devil is a liar. It's all in what you do. Hey, things you gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. Love y'all, man. Love y'all. We out this son of a gun. Man, we did it, dog. Appreciate everybody coming into the barbershop and working the part-time job, man. Appreciate you. I pay you in gratitude. Love y'all. I'll see y'all Sunday, man. I'll drop some videos till Sunday. Thank you, E. Appreciate you, Jarvis. Isn't it, Jarvis? Look, I'm trying to figure this shit out. Like, I want my $4.99 back and shit, man. I forgot I was subscribed to him. You know what I mean? I'm trying hard as hell to find out how the fuck unsubscribe. Anyways, nigga, I'll see y'all niggas tomorrow, man. I'll holler at y'all. Hey. Appreciate y'all.